Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, or Real Madrid will be the last team standing after 260 games.
Turkish Airlines, 7 days. B-Win. Endesa, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Good evening, I'm Frank Lawler from EuroLeague TV, together with former EuroLeague champion Joe Lucas. And there you see the fans getting ready for this huge showdown between two great teams that have made it through the season to this moment of truth in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague championship game. And Joe, as we watch the fans and now Fenerbahce, the teams arriving here to Stark Arena a little while ago. This is a team on a mission, Joe, Fenerbahce, and that mission is back-to-back EuroLeague titles.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. They proved that on Friday night in the semifinal, just really getting that Zalgiris. They were the definition of wearing a team down, and that's what they're going to try to do here tonight against Madrid. Also, Madrid a better team offensively, but look at this team coming in. Look at the focus on Rise. You know they've been here before.
You followed Real Madrid closely all season. Few expect them to be here due to their multiple injuries, but this team is loaded with talent.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And believe me, they believe right now because they made it through due to all the injuries that they had. And right now, the excuse they had all season long with the injuries is now their advantage. They have guys like him right there, Sergio Llull, who is fresh and his legs are ready to go.
Of course, the EuroLeague is all about the fans, and Stark Arena is filling up with more than 16,000 of them, joined by a worldwide audience of millions, to find out tonight who will be the new Turkish Airlines EuroLeague champion between Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul and Real Madrid. These teams got here with no doubt about it. Victories in the semifinals on Friday here in Belgrade. Fenerbahce held off Žalgiris by 9 points in the first semifinal, while Real Madrid rallied from 10 down to knock off the regular season winner, CSKA Moscow. Both of those victories were by 9 points, but there was little doubt near the end of those games that Fenerbahce Madrid had the right stuff to be here now and playing for the title.
Yeah, it was an interesting game, the Madrid-CSKA game. CSKA dominated early with that 30-20 lead, but Madrid was focused throughout the 40 minutes, and to win a championship, you have to be focused for all 40 minutes of the game.
Tip-off is coming up shortly, but in the meantime, a spectacular pregame show is underway to get this party started and pave the way to the name of a new Turkish Airlines EuroLeague champion tonight in Belgrade, Serbia.
Possibly a new champion, Frank. Possibly. Well, we might have a repeat one coming in there tonight.
And among the weekend's protagonists, the smallest man in this game, Ali Mohammed, he lit up Žalgiris on Friday with 19 points in 12 minutes off the bench. Luigi Datomi was Fenerbahce's offensive spark in the first half of that semifinal and came up with a career-high 3 blocks as well. And all EuroLeague first-team center Jan Vesely set an energetic tone on Friday that we can expect Fenerbahce to try to duplicate again tonight. Joe, I know you love this guy. He's become a leader this year as well.
Vesely's amazing. Look at these numbers. Almost 13 points a game in 26 minutes. But it's the intensity he brings on both sides of the floor. Defensively also. He always has to be careful about being foul prone, though.
And on the Madrid side, we have Gustavo Ayón, a strong, unique big man who's coming off a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds against CSKA the other night. Sergio Llull playing just his 4th game of the season after a long injury, scored 16 points on Friday. And remember, he had 28 in a loss to Fenerbahce in last year's semifinals. And the teenage whiz kid, Luka Doncic, became the youngest EuroLeague MVP ever last night and had this century's best Final Four performance by a player under 20 on Friday. He's ready, Joe.
I think the youngest EuroLeague MVP will be there for a long time. 19 years old, this kid. He is absolutely ready. He's looking for redemption from last year. Didn't play a good semifinal game against Fener last year. He wants it this year. You can see it.
Now we get a look at our officials for tonight's game. Luigi Lamonica of Italy, Boris Rizik of Ukraine, and Oleg Zlatisev of Latvia will be the men with the whistles for tonight's Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. Here's a look at our lineups. As far as we know, everybody is looking good on both teams health-wise, so they are ready to rock with all the players that got them here. And many of those names there, anyone could be a game breaker. And the same goes for Real Madrid. Everybody on this lineup, despite all their injuries, contributed to them being here. And you got 6 or 7 guys who have won games almost by themselves.
And there's a lot of guys that aren't on that list right there that also contributed to them being there, who helped out along the way. Justa, Radoncic, a lot of guys that have helped this team get to where they are today. And a fabulous job by Pablo Laszlo this season.
The scene is set. Stark Arena in Belgrade is just pumped up right now. Everybody waiting for the team introductions and the tip-off. And of course, Joe, we have an amazing coincidence of sorts that either Real Madrid will win its 10th title as continental champion, which of course is already the record, or the great Željko Obradović, coach of Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, will win his 10th title, which would be is already the most by any individual.
10 is definitely the magic number tonight.
There we see our head coach, Željko Obradović, on the left, Pablo Laszlo of Real Madrid on the right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the championship game of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to glory. In just a few moments, our two teams, Real Madrid and Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, will fight on this court to determine which one of them will be the champions of the 2017-2018 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague season and take home the cup. Let us meet the players. First, Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. At center, wearing number 1, Jason Thompson. At forward, wearing number 4, Nicola Melli. At guard, number 10, Maduro. At guard, number 11, Brad Wanamaker. At guard, number 16, Gustav Lucas. At forward, number 21, James Nunnally. At guard, 23, Marko Guduric. At center, number 24, Jan Vesely. At forward, number 33, Nikola Kalinic. At guard, number 35, Ali Muhammad. At center, number 44, Ahmed Duveriulo. At forward, number 70, Luigi Datome. And the coach of Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, Mr. Željko Obradović. And now let's meet the players from Real Madrid. At forward, wearing number 1, Fabian Cazur. At forward, number 3, Anthony Randolph. At forward, number 5, Rudy Fernandez. At guard, number 7, Luka Doncic. At forward, number 9, Felipe Reyes. At guard, number 11, Facundo Campazzo. At center, number 14, Gustavo Ayón. At guard, number 20, J.C. Carroll. At center, number 22, Walter Tavares. At guard, number 23, Sergio Llull. At forward, number 33, Trey Tompkins. And at forward, number 44, Jeffrey Taylor. And the coach of Real Madrid is Mr. Pablo Lasso. Ladies and gentlemen, let there be glory. The officials for this
Warm greetings between both coaches. Of course, Željko Obradović took up the locker room.
Una Lima Motoclub, que son puros tiradores, ¿de acuerdo? Con poco, digamos, con poco pick and roll, se utilizan salidas bloqueadas. A nosotros Nunali nos ha hecho siempre mucho daño en los partidos, con spot up, con botes metiéndose en medio de la zona de rodeos y tirando. Respetemos un poco la entrada de los dos porque los pueden usar para cambiar.
You know that inside will be full of our people. They're over here because of you. They trust you. You know this. This is years and years over here. So we must show to them why we are over here. This that I talked also before semi-final. That ball is our ball. This is the way how we want to play. Let's go.
There we heard from our two head coaches. There's the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague trophy sitting at mid-court, and here are our starters for Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. Brad Wanamaker, one guard spot. Marko Guduric at the other. Nikola Kalinic playing small forward. Jan Vesely in the middle. And Ahmed Duverdoglu also playing the big center spot. Their head coach Željko Obradović. So very similar to the other night, coming out with the two big men is Fenerbahce. Worked well for them at the start of the game against Žalgiris. Now for Real Madrid, Luka Doncic at the guard. Facundo Campazzo with him, playing side by side. Fabian Cazur at one wing. Felipe Reyes, the power forward, the veteran, and Gustavo Ayón in the center spot for Real Madrid and coach Pablo Lasso.
Both coaches there, Frank, going with the same lineups as the other day, and they look to be defensive. There's no doubt about it. They are trying to come out here and set the tone early with intensity. Felipe Reyes coming out, Kosher coming out with a little bit of speed on the perimeter, and there's no doubt about it, the young man, Luka Doncic, the MVP, coming out also.
And Felipe Reyes only started 6 games this season, but you know they want his veteran tenacity, no other word for it, out there to start this game against a very tenacious opponent. We saw that Fenerbahce in the semifinal really stormed all over Žalgiris with 11 steals in the first half and 13, a team high this season for the game. And they tried to set the tone very rapidly. A veteran like Felipe Reyes can help mitigate that.
We've seen it so many times throughout the season where that is Fenerbahce's game plan. No matter what happens, they use their defense. Like I always say, defense travels. Offense can have a bad night all the time. You can shoot poorly. There could be all kinds of reasons to have a bad night offensively. But the bottom line is defense travels.
As we've mentioned, our two head coaches, very good friends. And in fact, Pablo Lasso played under Željko Obradović in the only Final Four that Pablo ever played in back in 1996.
Yeah, we lost that one together, Frank. Thanks.
Didn't get
Thanks
the
for reminding me.
championship game, but they know each other very well. And that makes it even more intriguing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the same thing with, at this point, Željko's won so many times and coached so many places. he has a tree of followers and people. He's just the man. And right now look at the Doncic right there, giving him 5 before the game. A lot of respect for that coach over there on that side.
Talk a little, the fans here, the place is packed, over 16,000, but it's definitely an advantage for Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. They have all the yellow. You see them jumping up and down right there. And they will have the crowd, much of the crowd behind them. Pockets of Real Madrid fans. But the majority from just scanning around belongs to Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. One of these teams, either a back-to-back champion, Fenerbahce, or a new one in Real Madrid. We have tip-off in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague championship game with 2018 Wanamaker with the ball for Fenerbahce. Guduric on the wing, working with Duvaroglu. Finds some space, gets the ball to the big man. He started strong the other night. He started this game with a layup.
Right off the bat, Frank, I'm going to say it. The cut from the big man down the middle lane is a weakness for Madrid's defense. It has been all season long. Watch out for the big man, especially Vesely.
Foul right away on Vesely. It's Felipe Reyes. Tried to make a move on the perimeter. Vesely got him on the arm.
And they know, Felipe knows that he's prone to fouling early in the game, so you have to watch out. Vesely will also get a foul when he comes out to help on defense, so he has to be very careful not to pick up that second so early.
Inbound to Doncic for his first touch. Campazzo takes the shot, gives it to Ion. He drives against the big man too. His layup falls out, but gets his offensive rebound. He's still under there fighting. And a foul seems to be called. He's surrounded by Fenerbahce defenders.
They kind of bailed him out right there with that foul. I mean, Ion didn't have anywhere to go. He had Vesely sitting with his arms up, and he was bailed out, and they got another possession with 14 seconds.
Would have had a tough time getting the ball out of there, but it's Madrid possession again. Doncic going against Guduric. 5 on the shot clock. Crossover, step back. Off the mark, ball's loose. Reyes saves it to Vesely.
This is where
he stepped on the end line, but the buzzer blew, and it'll be Fenerbahce ball.
You know, Doncic wants it. There's no doubt about it. He wants to complete this season, the MVP and the title, but he has to let the game come to him little by little. Don't go out and try to get the game right off the bat like that last move. Not a good shot by Doncic to start things off here.
Foul at midcourt by Facundo Campazzo. Trying to stop Brad Wanamaker, putting some pressure on. That's why he's out there, right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? And you don't realize what that does to Fenerbahce's defense when they get Doncic to take a bad shot like that. That energizes them even more. They feed off of good defensive plays.
Campazzo second in the league this year with 1.4 steals per game. One of their defensive aces. Kalinic to Wanamaker. Back out to Kalinic. He'll pump a three-pointer. That's on the mark. Fenerbahce up 0-5.
Kalinic, we saw it happen last year. Watch out for this kid.
He had a fantastic Final Four last year. At the other end, that quickly, Doncic gets on the board. So a quick attack after the basket. Tells you something about Madrid's strategy not to let that Fenerbahce defense establish itself.
That's exactly correct. There's no doubt about it.
Offensive foul, and it might be on Jan Vesely.
No, that was on the logo up top. If I'm not mistaken, he was the one. Oh, no, Vesely is going to the bench. You're right. That's exactly what I talked about earlier. He is prone to that offensive foul.
On a screen, it's hard to see, but the referees flag Jan Vesely for second foul in under 2 minutes in this ball game, and it could become a factor. Doncic out top, working with Reyes. They look inside to Gustavo Ion. Try to go back door. Pass is shot out of there. Here's Kalinic on the run. Crosses over. Can't finish. Ion taps it off the board, and here comes Real Madrid in transition.
Great hustle play by Ion, coming back down the court after losing the ball and making that play.
Had a double-double in the semis. Very versatile big man. Drives on Kalinic. Can't finish. And Melli, who's in the ball game for Vesely, Nicolo Melli, rips the rebound.
Madrid is spreading the floor a little bit better than Zalgiris did the other day, giving them more openings right now.
Guduric will try from deep. That's off the mark. And Ion with a rebound. Doncic puts on the speed and knocks down the shot. So Luka Doncic already has 4 more points than he did in the semifinal last year against Fenerbahce.
He's already redeemed himself, but man, he's coming out to play. There's no doubt about it. And playing smart because, like you said, he's not letting Fener set up their half-court defense.
Wanamaker, he'll try a 3 as well. Lots of 3-pointers flying for Fenerbahce. But that one doesn't go down. And here's Madrid with a chance to take the lead. A first chance in this ball game. Doncic in control, crosses over, has Duvaroglu on him, has to give up the ball. Reyes gets it blocked by Duvaroglu. So good defense by the big man.
You see,
Kalinic in the post.
There's less continuity offensively without Vesely in the game, though, because they don't have that movement that they had with Vesely. Remember the other day how open he was at the foul line and how he got to the basket so quickly and effectively? Without him there, that is taken away from them. That option is gone, so they have to find a different way to attack. They had a game plan with Jan Vesely in the game. That's changed right now.
Luka Doncic called for his first foul, trying to defend Nikola Kalinic in the post. Looked like he had the steal, but the whistle blew. Must have got a piece of Kalinic's arm. Kalinic takes the inbound pass. Shot clock at 10. Duvaroglu driving hard again, and he has really been a factor early in both games so far.
And he's going to have to be with Vesely on the bench. That was the move we were talking about with Vesely. If they can get that, that's great for their offense.
Campazzo tries to bounce it to Ion. Instead commits a turnover. Little tight squeeze and couldn't get the ball through.
They forced that pass in right there. You know that Fenerbahce is going to have arms all over the place. They're going to have hands on that ball. You have to secure that pass.
We're through 4 minutes this ball game. We've hardly seen, I don't think Fabian Kozura has touched the ball, but he may get his chance soon. Here's Kalinic getting the space inside. They're picking on Luka Doncic in the post defense.
And what do you do to a guy like Doncic? You have to make him play defense. That's twice in a row. They were trying to get his second foul to send him to the bench.
Doncic on the wing. Fenerbahce up 5 again. Stops and pops. And the whistle blows as Ahmed Duvaroglu comes flying in and knocking into Doncic.
Yeah, they're definitely going at him on the offensive side. They want to make Doncic play defense. He's looking good offensively right now. He's taking a couple blows, but you know, one thing you have to do with a player like Doncic is you have to be physical with him. Even if he's going to get a basket, you want to knock him around a little bit. Remember, he's still 19. He's a superstar, but he's 19. You can knock him around. Panathinaikos did it in game 1 of their playoffs and kind of threw him off his game.
Now Doncic goes to the free throw line on that foul by Duvaroglu on the last shot and gets his first to fall.
Doncic all 5 points for Real Madrid right now. Someone else has to step up here offensively. Like you said, Koser barely touched the ball. Capasso hasn't done much either. So they have to start getting more effective, more continuity offensively, especially against this Fenerbahce D.
Wanamaker gets it to Duvaroglu. Here comes Guduric off the screen with the handoff. Finds some space inside. Duvaroglu again is open, and this time he slams it.
The big man is making a point out there. There's no doubt about it. Look at him in the paint, finding openings and getting up and finishing plays.
Madrid goes inside. Reyes misses off the backboard. And 5-point differences for Fenerbahce throughout this first 5 minutes of the ball game.
That play that Madrid ran a minute ago is a play they love to run on the transition offense. It's a misdirection play, trying to find a big man on a pick from the smaller guy down low. Usually the 2-man sets a pick on the opposite side. The play was executed perfectly. Felipe just missed the layup.
Foul called there on Ion, his first.
Look at Kalinic battling down low at Doncic. They're going to keep going at him.
Kalinic misses, but there's Duvaroglu putting his hands on the rebound. He and Ion, and the ball was tied up. And possession. seems to be going towards Real Madrid as we go to a timeout on the floor at Stark Arena in Belgrade, Serbia, with a 6-11 score in favor of Fenerbahce midway through the first quarter of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. Some of the images from these first 5 minutes. Great Željko Obradović aiming for his 10th EuroLeague title. And the many, many fans in attendance here in Belgrade from Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. Nikola Kalinic, one of the heroes from last year's title drive for Fenerbahce. Came out strong. Scored 5 points already. And they put some good defense on Luka Doncic. As you see there, he got that pass off. That was not a violation. He managed to make that pass, amazingly enough.
He definitely did get that one off, and I think it led to a block shot on the foul. But yeah, it looked like he hurt his knee on that play also, because he got up a little bit wobbly when he came up first. He's taking a couple shots, so you see him right there wobbling a little bit. And he had a little issue with the elbow, I think, on that other play where he went down also. So keep an eye on him in the physical side of this game. But let me tell you something. In a game like this, it's better be a serious injury if you think it's going to hurt, because he's going to continue to play.
Doncic has the only points through 5 minutes for Real Madrid, 6 of his own. And you have to think that Pablo Lasso in that timeout was saying we got to spread the ball around and get some other people involved.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And that's up to him, too, because he's a distributor.
Kazur, Rayon, they go inside to Reyes. Goes back the other way, all the way to Kazur. Out top on Duverdolu, stops and pops for 3. And Fabian Kazur.
Oh, the sexy Frenchman from deep. Going to his right and jacking it with his left. You got to love that shot from Mr. Kosser.
Big 3-pointer for him. Earned a start tonight. He came out in the second quarter and really brought them back from 10 down against CSKA. He was part of that effort. And Fenerbahce goes inside. Look at Duverdolu making the moves from the corner.
Are you kidding me? The young man with the sweet move. Looked like a point guard right there.
Ahmed Duverdolu did this at the start of the semifinal. Maybe not 8 points, but he had a few and big rebounds and dunks, and he has come out to play tonight once again. He's a defending champ. He was on the team last year, but didn't get this much minutes on the floor. Ion with a long hook shot, answering at the other end to get Madrid back within 2.
Again, even that's another basket by Ion, just like the one with Kosser before. They're struggling to get those shots off. A little bit like Zalgiris, not as bad, but they're still getting the shots off. But they're difficult shots. Right now they're making them. Fenerbahce's idea is to keep shooting like that.
Ali Muhammad on the floor now for Fenerbahce as Guduric misses a short jumper, and there's a whistle on the play.
Yeah, that was an over the back on Duverdolu. No doubt about it, but that's aggressive fouls. That's the kind of fouls you want from your big man. You see here, again, Ion with 2 seconds left on the shot clock just throws one up. He liked that shot. That's his shot, but it was a forced shot. And Fabian Kosser, look at the release. You have to love when a lefty shoots. They're so pretty.
Picture perfect by Fabian Kosser, and much needed for Real Madrid. They do not want to let this scoreboard get away from them.
Yeah, but again, it was 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Those 5 points with 2 seconds left in the shot clock.
Ion going to the free throw line on that foul at the other end, and we saw Kostas Lukas come on the floor for Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. He's shooting for his 4th EuroLeague title and playing in his 4th consecutive championship game. A winner by any stretch of the imagination now on the floor for Fenerbahce. Ion.
You saw 2 free throws missed by Ion right there. The story on Friday night was the 13 missed free throws by Madrid. Something for everybody to keep an eye on tonight.
Sergio Yui in the game commits a foul on Ali Muhammad.
Did you see Ali Muhammad drop the 3 too from deep? He just said he continued to keep playing. He still thinks it's Friday night, Frank.
Anthony Randolph and Jeffrey Taylor also in the game for Real Madrid, as well as Rudy Fernandez. They're changing up big here at the end of the first quarter. Jason Thompson comes on for Fenerbahce.
Huge collision up top between Ion, Ali Muhammad, and Jason Thompson. And
Gustavo Ion looks like he's got hit with his second foul, so the big men are getting a lot of fouls here.
And that'll be the 5th foul too, so that'll send Ali Muhammad to the line for 2, and Ion to the bench, which is another blow for Madrid.
Ali Muhammad, really, Fenerbahce had Žalgiris on its heels the other night through the end of the third quarter, and that's when Ali Muhammad just lit the place up with 19 points in 12 minutes. And he's had great games like that in other Final Fours as well. Brought them back and put them into overtime in a couple of Final Four games before. So he loves this stage. And he loves Belgrade as well. Had 7 3-pointers, I believe, in his last game here before in the regular season.
Yeah, that was this year in the regular season. He dropped 7. I think he's done that twice in his career.
Not too many people can say that. Sergio Llull out top to Rudy Fernandez.
Look at the way Jason Thompson gets out on defense, making the guards penetrate. No easy threes.
Llull tied. He gets blocked by Thompson. Jeffrey Taylor goes to Jeffrey Taylor and gets blocked by Thompson. That's like the foul was called on a rebound.
Yeah, the foul was called after, but what an aggressive defensive play by Jason Thompson. He came out on Sergio Llull in the pick and roll, got him, defended him all the way to the basket. When Llull dumps the ball off to Taylor, he turns around and makes the block and then commits the foul. This guy's all over the place.
That's exactly what you notice about this Fenerbahce defense. They get to the spots at high speed like few teams I've ever seen. The other night they just had Žalgiris figured out from the beginning.
Yeah, the rotations are amazing. And another missed foul shot by Madrid. So that's 3 for 6 right now. 50% from Madrid, almost the same as they shot the other night. Missed in 13. It's going to be a story we'll talk about all night long if they continue to miss.
It's Lucas cross court. Kalinit's left open. He goes off the front of the rim. And Rudy Fernandez has the ball.
I don't think Kalinit's expected to be that wide open as we see Datomi getting off the bench finally for Fenerbahce.
Madrid getting pushed out near half court. Double team on Llull. He swings it to Rudy. Rudy stop and pop. 3-pointer on the mark for Rudy Fernandez.
What a season by Rudy Fernandez. You almost had him for dead last year. He didn't do anything. He was hurt all year long. He took the summer off from the national team and worked on his strength and his quickness, and it has showed this season.
He just tied the ball game. And he's fighting for that loose ball. It'll knocked out of bounds by.
And that's a
Jason Thompson. It's going to be Real Madrid ball with a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, and that was the hustle by Rudy that time, coming up from behind it. Jason Thompson thought that he was going to be able to lackadaisically go over there and grab that ball, and Rudy came out of nowhere and just gave that extra effort. And Frank, when you're in a championship game, it's extra effort that wins these things.
I totally agree with you about Rudy Fernandez this year. Not putting up big numbers, but always doing things up and down the court for Madrid. He's being chased by Luigi Datomo. He's just come in the game. Gets it to Llull for 3. On the mark, Sergio Llull has joined the 3-point shooters for Real Madrid.
Be careful, Fenerbahce, because when these guys start hitting threes, they come in bunches. We saw it in the beginning of the second quarter against Cheska.
First lead for Madrid, 18-15. Showing a lot of poise. Under a minute left in the first quarter. Lucas turns the corner. Tavares in the game. He goes over the big man on the reverse.
Wow.
And what a heady player this guy is.
He is absolutely amazing. What a lay-in. And Tavares called for the offensive foul on the other side on Ali Muhammad. But what an impressive play. He reads him perfectly, uses the contact. You're going to see him draw a little bit of contact right there, and then use the rim as a defender to block off Tavares. Kind of set him off a little bit. And that's, hey, Frank, that is one of the best shot blockers that Europe has to offer against a little guy.
Tallest player in the EuroLeague, Tavares. At 2 meters and 20, as that shot misses for Fenerbahce. Here comes Fernandez out of the pack. But he decides to slow it up with 18 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're going to try to get one shot here and walk into the first quarter with the lead.
And the one shot's likely to come from this man, Sergio Llull. He's a master at the end of quarters. He's got Thompson in front of him. Goes to Randolph in the corner for three. Another three-pointer for Real Madrid. And off the buzzer. Let's see about that. A steal and a shot. Whether or not it counts, we will find out.
What an end to the first quarter right there. Nice play by Sergio Llull. As you said, you expect him to shoot that shot. They converged on him when he penetrated, and he found Randolph in the corner all by himself.
The score is 21-17 after one quarter in favor of Real Madrid as they came on strong to finish the first 10 minutes. And the first quarter started much like the semifinals did for Fenerbahce the other night, with Ahmed Duvaroglu ruling down low after Jan Vesely went out with 2 fouls. Luka Doncic scored the first 6 points for Real Madrid. But Duvaroglu outdid him with 8 of his own. And by the middle of the quarter, and throughout much of the first 5 minutes, it was Fenerbahce leading by 5, but Madrid started getting the ball to other players. Fabian Cazur hit the first three-pointer. Then came Rudy Fernandez. Sergio Llull. And despite that fantastic basket by Kostas Sloukas, it was Real Madrid taking a 4-point lead after one quarter. You see why. They've hit 4 or 5 from downtown, and that has helped bring them back. They're doing a good job on rebounding as well. But it's the assists that are going to Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. And really, Joe, as you said, 3 missed free throws so far for Real Madrid. It's a worry down the road. It wouldn't be that much more ahead without them.
No, but it's a worry after you've missed 13 in the first game. But the one stat that didn't show up right there, Frank, was the fact that Fenerbahce has 0 offensive rebounds here in the first quarter. I know it's early for that also, but 0 offensive rebounds. And that is what helps a team like Madrid get out on the break and run. That's why I gave Doncic those couple fast breaks, the easy baskets on the fast break, not letting the other team set up offensively, controlling the defensive rebound and turning that into offense. Great job by Madrid. They have to maintain that throughout this game.
Well, the absence of Jan Vesely has a lot to do with those 0 offensive rebounds. He had 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game and had to sit down. Remember, he broke the playoffs record a few weeks ago, where he was averaging 4.5 per game and a total of 19. Both the average and the total were a first in the playoffs.
And he averaged 2.5 throughout the season also, so it wasn't a coincidence that he did that in the playoffs.
The inbound by Fenerbahce to Sloukas gets the second quarter underway. Ali Mohammed to Luigi Datome. That's his spot. He's a little long on that shot, however. And the rebound goes out of bounds on Nicola Melli.
Quick shot right there by Datome, if you ask me. He hit one the other day like that, but he was well defended right there. Maybe he wanted to get that and get to the basket a little bit more. They definitely look like a different team so far since Vesely's gone to the bench. They're not as active and they don't have as much energy, not offensively nor defensively.
They sustained it for about 3 minutes with Duvaroglu, but then he got 2 fouls. Here comes Fernandez from way downtown, a little short.
Looks like Fenerbahce wants to slow things up to here. They had a defensive play, got the rebound and didn't run at all.
Lucas to Mohammed. Llull out on him, not giving him any space. Commits the foul. And that will be the second on Sergio Llull. Madrid's working on a 10-2 run here as they took over the scoreboard at the end of that first quarter.
Again, led by the 3-pointers, 4 for 5 from 3 points. That's how Madrid wins games. They do it in quick bunches. They did it 17-4 the other day to start that second quarter against Cheska, and they're trying to do it here again tonight.
Ball goes out to Datome. It's loose.
Look at Rudy.
Rudy comes up with it. He goes ahead to Jeffrey Taylor for the slam. Good fast break basketball based on defense by Real Madrid.
Great play by Rudy Fernandez getting the passing lane. He's so sneaky coming around behind players and getting the ball down low.
Randolph goes for the steal, leaves Melli alone for a jumper. He can't hit it though. They're a little short on their shot so far. Fenerbahce just 6 for 11 from 2-point range and only 1 of 5 from 3-point range. Wow, they go inside to the big man right off the backboard. Madrid keeps it going into the second quarter, 14-2 run, and they're now up by 8 points on the scoreboard. They figured something out, Joe.
Yeah, they moved the ball well, but again, I think it has a lot to do with Vesely being on the bench. There's no doubt about it.
25-17, timeout on the floor as Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul tries to deal with this big run. End of the first quarter, beginning of the second by Real Madrid. And this kind of surprised me because you saw the defenders there. I know the smaller guy was below, but Sergio Llull got the ball in there.
But look at Tavares just keep it up there. You bring that down and Tommy gets it. There's no way a big man can bring that ball down. He is well coached, knows that when he gets the ball up there, you keep it up over your shoulders at all times and try to get it off there.
Could very well have been a foul call on a three-point opportunity as well.
Yeah.
There's the steal by Rudy Fernandez and a pass ahead to Jeffrey Taylor. Again, more people involved all the time is Real Madrid.
Man, okay, I tell you what, when Rudy starts making plays like that, like he did against Jason Thompson earlier, that time against Tommy, he just becomes a pest on the floor. He's all over the place. He seems to get his hand on every ball off the rebounds, any type of loose ball. He'll come up behind you. He's an uncomfortable defensive player because you never know actually where he is. He doesn't like contact. He loves to come off of the offensive player so that the offensive player doesn't know where he is, and then he surprise attacks you.
We come back to second quarter action, 8:31, plenty of time left in the first half. But Real Madrid has made the first big move of this ball game after Fenerbahce had leads of about 5 points through the first 5 minutes, and are now working on a 14-2 run. Vesely comes back in the ball game for Fenerbahce, which shows how much they want to change the momentum here. Lucas out top, chased by Taylor.
Don't think Madrid won't attack him either.
And the lob to Vesely comes down awkwardly. The ball came in, looked like it was in, and he knocked it back out of the basket. Or maybe it came out the front of the rim.
I don't know. Let's look at it. I don't know because of the rim, because it came down.
Pulled on the rim. There you see exactly what happened.
I'm not sure what the call was, though.
Results in a loss of possession for Fenerbahce. Maybe rim interference once the ball was in there. Llull tries to thread the needle to Tavares again, but Tommy kicks it out of bounds.
They see something with Tavares in the game, cutting down the middle. You see it here. Nice look by Sergio Llull. Difficult pass off the foot of Vesely, but
Vesely kicks it out of bounds, yes.
Yeah, that'll be another 14 seconds. That'll go back up to 14, but they're looking for Tavares cutting down the lane, either with the bounce pass or the pass up high.
Inbounds. Randolph, jumper, long.
Randolph said he didn't care about another 14 seconds. I want to get this shot off quick. He made one to end the first quarter, and he wants to drop another one. I think that ball hit a Fenerbahce defender when it came down. Yeah, it didn't touch the rim, so there's only going to be 9 seconds to shoot, but it did hit a Fenerbahce defender, I think, in the back.
Referees have rectified their decision. It'll be Real Madrid ball going off Kostas Lucas out of bounds. Rudy Fernandez inbounds to Llull. See if they go back to Tavares. Maybe not with that. It'll be Llull from deep. Rebounded by Kostas Lucas. Still a 14-2 run for Madrid. And the impressive part has been the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They're taking Fenerbahce out of the game, and then Fenerbahce doesn't want to run on the fast break either when they do play good defense.
Melli takes the three-pointer. This goes down. He breaks the spell for Fenerbahce.
And that felt good. You saw Melli establish himself, take the fake, get his feet set, and drill that three. That one felt good for Fenerbahce. They need to start picking it up on defense now and get a couple more plays like that.
Just the second three-pointer of the game for Fenerbahce. Rudy on the fly, puts it down, off balance in midair.
Rudy's stepping up big here tonight in this first half.
You talk about guys who've been in big games all their life. Him with the Spanish national team, all sorts of medals, and that comes from making shots like that. Melli goes to the rim this time, steps through and finishes strong.
What an intimidator Tavares is. Melli, you saw him licking his chops to go up and dunk that, and Tavares came over and made him pull up and fake. Could have gotten to travel there.
Rudy dribbling on the wing. His team's got a 5-point lead, 27-22. Throws the ball away. Wanamaker comes up with it. Back to Melli. He slams. And Nikola Melli has breathed life into Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul.
Melli with a 7-0 run on his own right here in the second quarter.
That quickly, the momentum has changed it again. We have a 3-point ball game. Lead was as high as 8 for Madrid. Yuri, high off the rim over Vesely. He does that like it's nothing.
How much higher can you go off the backboard before it's called out of bounds? That was an incredible move by Sergio and up over Vesely.
It usually happens when guys come in on an angle. He was coming straight at the basket. Datome, his step back jumper is good. He loves that shot.
Yeah, Fenerbahce's caught a rhythm here. Fenerbahce's definitely caught a rhythm on the offensive side. They're starting to move the ball properly. They're finding the open men. Nice move down there low by Datome. And Vesely needs to be careful. Cooler heads prevail in these situations. He has 2 fouls. He has to be careful. Remember, if you're watching this EuroLeague game for the first time, a technical foul counts as a personal also.
Vesely, let's see what happened after this play. He wanted to get the ball. Tavares pushed him out of the way to get the ball, but
Vesely did nothing.
Take a big push to push John Vesely that far.
Yeah, but Tavares is a big man, so you know he could push him. But right there, Vesely did nothing wrong. I'm surprised they didn't talk to Tavares more because Vesely never touched the ball. That's the rule. You cannot touch the ball after it goes in.
The other end, it's Yuri to Taylor. He spins on the perimeter, and we'll get called for the violation.
And this is where defense gets in. He got the travel call right there because they're putting them a little too much pressure on him right now. And Madrid is trying to rush through their offense. They were so patient early, and now they're rushing a lot more. As Coach Lasso is going to try to stop that right now and get Luka Doncic back into this game. And then, of course, J.C. Carroll, who has not been in yet. And watch out when we talk about three-pointers because we know he can light it up from deep.
We got a ball game, Joe. One team is led by 5, another's led by 8. And with half of the second quarter still remaining, it's a 3-point ball game. Kalinic back in with the ball. Wanamaker stops and pops from the baseline. That's off the mark. Ball's in the air. Doncic back in the game, comes up in the rebounds.
Doncic is going to try to control things a little bit more offensively for Madrid if he can.
Crosses over against Kalinic, hits the floor, the ball's loose. Let's see what the call is.
I think they got him for a kick maybe right there. Oh, an offensive foul.
Doncic with his head down went straight into Vesely and gets called for his second foul just as he returns to the floor.
And watch out right now because this could be the moment. Look at Vesely picking up that 3rd foul. Man, when, I'm telling you, Coach Obradovich's heart just dropped right there when he saw it. When you see an offensive foul, because you don't know if it's an offensive foul yet, your heart drops. You don't know who that's going to be called upon.
Doncic stays in, and we see the first of J.C. Carroll, the sniper from Madrid. It's Lucas. Dribbling past Tavares, gets a pass in, but Vesely comes back to Lucas. He dishes off to Melli. Great cut and great finish by Nikola Melli. In his first championship game, has come out strong. He's got 9 points to lead all scorers in this ball game, and he's only been out there for 13 minutes.
And he single-handedly got this team back in their game.
Timeout on the floor with Real Madrid now only leading by 1, 29-28, 4:37 left in the second quarter. There we see Çoroglu, the great player from Turkey, witnessing tonight's game. Here we see how Melli got his 9 points so far.
Yeah, Melli's been working hard on the offensive side. Right there, running the floor, playing good on defense also. He stuck that 3, gave him a lot of confidence when he lit himself up there and got himself ready. And right now, Melli is the man who's bringing him back in the game with these 9 points.
3 for 4 on 2-pointers, 1 for 1 from deep. That's how he got started. Got an assist, rebound, but as Joe said, doing the little things, running the floor, making cuts.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier when Vesely went to the bench. The energy level is picked up with Jan on the floor. He's a leader for this team. He needs to be present on the floor at all times. His presence on the bench isn't important to this team in this game tonight. It might be in some game during the regular season, but that man needs to be on this floor.
Trey Tompkins comes in for Real Madrid. Will be assigned to Melli. Doncic out top. J.C. Carroll inside, run one-hander on a mark. His patented, one of his patented shots, I should say.
That's what makes him so hard to defend coming off the pick, his ability to get to the basket and get that little floater.
Lucas kicks it out to Melli. Looks at the two-pointer, passes to Wanamaker instead. He's got a three-pointer. This time he'll take it from the same spot.
Ball.
And Nicolo Melli is on fire in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. He's got Fenerbahce within one.
The big Italian's on fire. He had 3 different looks at the basket before he decided to finally take it. He's got Tompkins flying all over the place on defense.
Doncic looking for Carroll. Has got him. And off the ball was a push by Melli.
You know, it's so easy to say from here, but when you get J.C. Carroll coming off a pick, first, obviously, you want to stop the three-point shot. Secondly, you want to try to make him go to his left. He's not as effective going to the left with that floater. When he's going to the right, he's got that down pat.
Foul on Melli. Madrid inbounds again. Doncic scooting around Vesely, goes in the corner. Tompkins gives up the shot, takes it back, up in the air, and Trey Tompkins joins the three-point marksman for Real Madrid. He's the 5th guy to hit from downtown.
I've been telling Trey all year, he's just flying under the radar. He's done so much through all these injuries, and he's coming up big again.
Steal, almost a steal. Kalinic comes up with it, kicks out, tries to kick out, but goes in between 2 defenders. Carroll tries to chase it down, but it will be Real Madrid ball nonetheless.
You see the hustle on J.C. Carroll trying to get a free two. J.C. Carroll gets enough open looks at the basket. He was trying to run that ball down because nobody from Fenerbahce was getting back. They thought somebody from Madrid touched it.
It'll be Madrid ball with a 3-point lead and 3 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first half.
Vesely's got to be careful up here.
Doncic surrounded by defenders, goes over to Taylor, takes it back. Here comes the big man, instead of screen for him, but he goes away from it. Inside, there he is, wide open. Great moves by Luka Doncic, setting up Walter Tavares.
Yeah, well, Melli made a nice rotation on the first pick and roll, but it went back to his man too quickly, and Doncic went back the other way and used the pick once again, drawing Vesely out.
It's Lucas driving hard. Brings it out to Kalinic. Going strong. He goes over to big man, and Vesely got a touch on it. Let's see who to give the basket to. Going to give it to Kalinic. No, going to give it to Vesely.
Yeah, that's Vesely's first 2 of the game right there with that little tap in.
Keeping them close. Doncic in the corner to Tompkins. Gets it back out top. Going against Vesely. Crossover, step back for 2. Luka Doncic misses. A big Walter Tavares with the rebound gets fouled by Nikola Kalinic.
Yeah, on the switch right there, Kalinic got stuck with Tavares, and at that point, there's not much you can do. You just got to, as hard as you can, box him out, keep him away from the hoop. As soon as he saw Tavares catch the ball, he just decides to foul him. It's only the second team foul for Fenerbahce in this quarter with 2:09 left to play.
Expect them to spend the next 2 as well, trying to stop Madrid and keep this close. Taylor pulls it out. Doncic sets it up out top. Lob inside to Tavares. He goes out to J.C. Carroll for 3. Off the rim, chasing down the rebound. Last touch by Brad Wanamaker. Good hustle by J.C. Carroll to try to get that rebound, forcing Wanamaker to knock it out of bounds.
I think Doncic has to come off the pick and roll a little bit harder to try to draw Vesely out to get that 3rd foul right there. Tavares got pushed down low by Kalinic. Good hustle by both players, but ball touches Wanamaker when he's already out of bounds, and That'll give Madrid an extra 14 here on the shot clock.
Taylor inbounds. Handoff to Doncic, but off the ball, Trey Tompkins.
Trey Thompson's got up a little bit high, and Kalinic right there off of that pick. Put his hands up maybe a little too high and caught him right around the chest, chin area. And most of the time, a referee's going to call that foul. Right now, with 1:54 to go, you got to keep an eye on for Vesely. You're thinking that Zeljko Obradović in the back of his mind might want to take him out of this game so he doesn't pull off the third foul before the end of this half. Let's see what he does. Right now, he's keeping him in. He sent the Tommy back out onto the floor for Melli. But it's an interesting strategic play here to keep him out there. You'd think he'd want to pull him out to not get that third foul.
Campazzo comes back on the floor for Real Madrid. As Lucas goes around the screen, strives hard against Carroll and puts it over him. They want that matchup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But Lucas doesn't see Tavares down there, so he decided to keep going this time. He's taking so many trips under the basket with Tavares where he couldn't get up. This time, he saw some daylight.
Tompkins in the corner for Madrid. Goes to Carroll, gets loose inside. Ball's loose, and Fenerbahce comes up with a chance to go ahead. A foul committed in transition by Facundo Campazzo.
That'll send Wanamaker to the line, though. That's Madrid's 5th. You have to stop the. You have to definitely stop the fast break there by Campazzo. Nice play, but no doubt he'll be going to the line to shoot 2 here.
Chance to go ahead now for Fenerbahce, and a great comeback from earlier in this quarter when they were down 8.
Yeah, and here comes the man who brought him back right here, Melli. And that's the substitution I was talking about a second ago, Frank. You got to get Vesely out of this game. Who am I to tell Zeljko Obradović what to do? But he must be listening to me, because I knew there was no doubt that sooner or later he cannot risk Vesely's third foul. And not bad when you get to put Melli back in the game with the run that he's had. So he got Melli a minute rest and decided to get Vesely out of the game. We won't see Vesely again until the third quarter, no doubt about that. Unless, of course, there may be an offensive possession at the end where they want to get him back in the game for the high pick and roll.
In the meantime, it'll be Brad Wanamaker going to the free throw line, trying to get himself in the scoring column. He does it with his first free throw. That'll help the cause and tie the ball game up for Fenerbahce with a chance to go ahead.
This has been a boxing match, back and forth. Each team taking their punches.
Second free throw misses by Wanamaker. Tompkins with the rebound. 1:20 left in the first half. Doncic driving on Melli. Dribbles it over the rim, and look at Wanamaker taking the rebound away from big Anthony Randolph.
And he got fouled too, so he's going back to the line. He was 1 for 2 in the last trip. He's an 85% free throw shooter, so you don't expect him to miss any more right now. Trying to give his team the 2-point lead with 1:06 left. I think that was a quick shot by Doncic on the offensive side, though. He's got to get his team back into the game. That's what he was brought back out on the floor for, and he hasn't been patient enough here yet.
The Fenerbahce fans are feeling it. Their team has come back from 8 down. They're tied with Wanamaker going to the free throw line to try to take the lead. And he does just that with the first free throw. But as you said, Joe, a lot of counter punching going on in this first half, which shows that both teams are ready and both teams are not about to let this slip out of their hands.
Yeah, we didn't expect anything less here in a game of this intensity. I expected Fenerbahce a little bit more intense defensively early on, but the loss of Vesely hurt them. But now they've picked it up, and here we go in the last minute.
Doncic gets it to Carroll. Back to Doncic, fakes, goes to the corner, but on the pass, it was Nikola Kalinic getting his second foul.
Yeah, Kalinic might have wasted that foul a little bit too quick. They only had 2 team fouls at that point, but with 53 seconds, they had Madrid a little bit out of sync offensively, and that might have been a quick foul, but not a bad play. It was a good thought process, but I think they had Madrid out of sync.
Marko Guduric comes in the game to replace Kalinic.
I'll tell you what, Wanamaker got lucky. He went for the steal on J.C. Carroll, and someone helped him out.
Got Tommy on Doncic. Doncic gets inside, kicks out to Carroll. He'll dial up a 3. He'll knock down a 3.
You can only help out on him so long.
Madrid back in front, 38-37. Slukas shadowed by Taylor. He's going to try to answer, and he does! Right in the face of Jeffrey Taylor. Kostas Slukas puts Fenerbahce back in front.
Kostas Slukas, baby. He almost fell 3 times on that possession, got tripped up a little, came back and said, you know what? This is my possession. I'm taking it on myself.
And he has put Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul back in front, 38-40, with 30 seconds left in the second quarter. And the counter-punching continues with back-to-back threes by Carroll and Slukas. And Slukas has been a winner almost from the moment he walked into the EuroLeague, part of the great Olympiacos back-to-back champions
And
in
you
his
know,
first 2 seasons.
Frank, we talked about it so much the other night as we see Meli's numbers here, 11 points already. And Dubalogu also with 8 points. But Slukas, he's a 3-time champion. And the other day we saw him running after balls, diving on the floor. When they were up 9 or 10 in the fourth quarter with like 12 seconds left, he was all over the place still. He doesn't give up one single possession. And that's why he's a 3-time champion.
He plays possess. He had a lot to do with that victory last year as well. Had some slashing layups when things were close late in the game. And he just knows when to turn it on, knows when to pull it back and pop his shots, and knows how to get it to his teammates.
If you ask me, he's the team's MVP. He's the guy that makes that team run. There's no doubt about it. Vesely's the man, gets the job done. Meli's been great, the Tonys been great, but he's the most consistent player, and he's the guy that they would know is not on the floor more than anybody else.
28 seconds left in the second quarter. Fenerbahce up 2, Madrid inbounding the ball.
And he knocked down that 3 and gave his team maybe another possession.
Sergio Yui in the ball game has it, going against Wanamaker. Tavares sets the big screen. Meli on Yui, stops him on that one. A fall away jumper by Yui misses.
That's some defense.
Guterres comes up with the rebound. Slukas driving hard. Ball slapped away by Tompkins. But he must have touched it while he was standing on the end line. So with just 3/10 of a second on the clock, looks like it should be Fenerbahce ball. Very little he can do in that time.
Yes, Lucas took a shot right there going to the basket. Foul wasn't called because he didn't have the possession of the ball. He's looking at Meli going, hey, where were you, man? I took a shot right there. I was looking for you. Meli must have looked the other way, but right now it's 0.3 on the clock. Not much you can do but get a little tap in, try to set up an offensive play, but you can guarantee it that Walter Tavares will be sitting underneath that rim. They're not going to be able to get much in that area.
At any rate, it should leave Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul with the lead going into halftime, and that is a great job coming back from 8 down in the second quarter. Here's some of what Meli did to lead this ball game with 11 points so far. Did it driving, did it shooting, and did it hustling on the break like we see right here. Just outrunning people on those plays.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the man right now for Fenerbahce, and he got them back in the game in the second quarter. Both sides of the floor again.
Remember, Meli was an all-EuroLeague player last season when he played for Borussia Bamberg, so he's got the pedigree, and he has brought it to the championship game. You see his numbers right there. Only missed 1 shot so far from the floor, a 2-pointer. Otherwise, he's perfect in this ball game, and he has very much to do with the 2-point lead that Fenerbahce holds right now as we wait for them to come out of a timeout and finish the last 3/10 of a second of the first half.
You know, Frank, when you get a guy like that, a signing like that, with that kind of pedigree, like you said, and mix him in with a bunch of guys that have already won and know what it's like to win and lose these games, because there's a bunch of guys that have won and lost, that makes a difference in Meli's career and this season.
Let's see what Fenerbahce has cooked up with 3/10 of a second to play with. As Kalinic will inbound the ball with Tavares on him. And stolen by Luka Doncic. No, the shot, the long distance shot, probably wouldn't have counted, but didn't go down anyway. And in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague championship game, after 20 minutes, the two teams go to the locker room after back and forth, taking leads against each other. The defending champions of Fenerbahce leading 38-40 over Real Madrid. And we're going to...
Turkish Airlines. 7 days. B-Win. Endesa, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
As the president of the region of Alava, where Vitoria Gasteiz is located, will take that ball and move it forward to another Final Four in 2019. Both of our head coaches there getting ready for 20 minutes to decide a champion, if in fact they don't go to overtime. We've had overtime in the championship game before and very recently. So nobody would be surprised if these two teams go right down to the wire. It'd be interesting to see if somebody on Madrid is the leading scorer for them in the second half. They had a very good third quarter against Cesca the other night.
Yeah, and that had a lot to do with the three-pointers that they hit in the second quarter.
Ion kicks it out to Doncic. Steps inside, goes to Kazur in the corner, but look at the defense recover. Behind his back, inside, gets hammered by Duvarolu, hits the floor, but he'll go to the free throw line. Nice, aggressive play.
And good ball movement by Madrid to find the open shot. They had a couple of looks, but they didn't want to take it. And Gosser takes it straight to the hoop and hard, and he's going to go to the foul line early here in this third quarter.
Changing the starting lineup for the second half from the first half by Real Madrid, with Rudy Fernandez out there instead of Facundo Campazzo. We see Meli, who didn't start the game, out there now, as well as Lucas to start the second half for Fenerbahce. Kazura with a chance to tie it on the second free throw, 2 for 2. We got a tied ball game on the first 2 points of the second half.
I got a
James
feeling.
Nunnally making his first appearance at the ball game as well.
Yeah, we're just seeing him come off the bench, and he's a sharpshooter. Didn't have a good night on Friday night, but we know he can get hot and drill them from deep.
One of the top percentage shooters in the EuroLeague, James Nunnally. Double team on Slukas, gets it away to Meli, fakes, drives, gets it stolen by Felipe Reyes. Here's Rudy Fernandez on the run.
It's Madrid coming out aggressive defensive. Nice backdoor cut right there.
It'll be Rudy in the corner. Great ball movement by Madrid. And Felipe with the offensive rebound. He's fouled on the rebound. The shot will not count.
Felipe doing what Felipe does. There's no doubt about it. He doesn't even get off the ground, and he's still pulling out offensive rebounds. You know, the key to getting an offensive rebound is trying to get it at the height of its when it comes off the rim, and he doesn't get off the ground. How does he get them?
It's like a sentinel in there. They just can't get around him. Got his hands up. Here's Ion out to Kazur for 3. Fabian Kazur with his second three-pointer in the ballgame. Remember, he got them started when they were down 5 in the first quarter.
He's solid. We've seen some big games out of him against Panathinaikos in the regular season too. He scored 27. He can light it up. He's a role player for this team, but give him the shot, he'll hit it. Nice play right there. Drawing the foul again. It's Fenerbahce in his first minute and a half trying to get into the game offensively. Madrid doing it great. You see it again by Ion overplaying the ball.
Almost a steal. Guduric ends up open, however, and gets a three-pointer off, but it misses long. But foul committed on the rebound by Reyes, of course. The foul committed by Duvarolu. Well, let's make sure of that, because he's had 3 already at that point. That'll be his 4th indeed.
And that'll bring Vesely right back into the game.
Vesely comes in. Remember, he had 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the ballgame. It sat out a lot, did Jan Vesely. Only played 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes of the first half in the end. But maybe was a little less aggressive when he did come back later in the first half.
You talk about aggressive, it's Coser that's come out aggressive here in the second half. And they're looking for him too. He's moving around a lot on the offensive side.
Ball inside to Ion. He's going to challenge Vesely. Spins on him and gets a shot. Nice move by Gustavo Ion.
Nice move by Ion. He almost lost the ball to begin with, regained possession and made the quick move.
Lucas across half court with it as Madrid has scored the first 7 points of this third quarter to lead by 5, 45-40. Lucas finally gets it away. Wanamaker, Meli can hit it. He has hit it tonight. Not that time for him.
But look at Madrid's defense, Frank. They are forcing Fenerbahce to take shots from far away from the basket, not letting them get to the basket. They're doing a great job of double teaming and making them make the extra pass, and then they just have to find the rotations. Coser gets a foul right there. That's just going after the ball. Not much you can do, but the defense was the key in that possession. And they're giving up the long shot, but not letting them get in.
The high perimeter defense and taking away passing lanes and everything is very much like what Fenerbahce played the other night in the semifinal.
Exactly, with the rotations. And look at this. Look where they got the ball right now.
Melli fakes and goes against Felipe Reyes. Gets him moving and draws the contact.
And you see on that possession right there, Melli gave up the shot because he just missed one a second ago. I think he needs to be a little bit more confident like he was in the first half. He had the open three as Lucas makes the high post pass to Vesely, who gets it over to Melli quick. Even Vesely wanted him to shoot that shot.
Both teams up to 3 team fouls already with a lot of time left in this third quarter. Wanamaker gets it to Slukas. Off the back of the rim. Shooting has been a little bit of a problem for Fenerbahce. Melli inside, gets it off, turning around and puts it high off the backboard. He's got his touchback.
Yeah, he definitely got a touchback there, but it's an offensive rebound that he pulled down that you don't want to start giving up if you're Real Madrid. They did a great job in that first half.
Just the third one so far for Fenerbahce, but it paid off. Pass inside, Felipe somehow got it between 2 defenders and put it right in. He's been doing it for years. You got to do that about 150 times before you get it.
How does he do that? He lost the ball in midair with 6 arms in his way, and he still comes up with the ball.
Stick-to-itness by Felipe Reyes keeps Madrid up by 5. Nunnally goes out to Melli. He'll dial up a 3 on this one. He's got it. Does Nicola Melli 2 for 3 from downtown. He's up to 16 points, and he's really keeping Fenerbahce within striking distance.
Yeah, and I was glad to see him shoot that shot. He gave up one earlier after the miss, and that one he took with a lot of confidence.
Doncic shadowed by Wanamaker, gets it out to Coser for 3. He's got that one as well. Fabian Coser with his third three-pointer in as many tries.
Talk about confidence. Coser is coming out on fire. 8 points here in the third quarter already for him.
Slukas driving hard, goes out to Wanamaker. He still got it, challenging the big man. Gets it to go and gets fouled. Brad Wanamaker's joining the charge for Fenerbahce.
That's a move that we've seen by Wanamaker for years. Watch him get his body into Ion on the jump. Look at that move right there. Gets his body into him. Gets that little bit of push off with the left hand. Just enough time to give himself the space. But here comes, watch the left foot. Watch this left foot right here. The step goes towards Ion, into Ion's body. And that's the move that you want to get the shot blocker off of you and give you the distance to get it off. Draws the foul, and Wanamaker goes to the line for the and 1.
His teammates loved it. They know that he can do that kind of thing, and when he does, he just makes Fenerbahce that much more dangerous.
And he can take over games, too, at the end. He loves to have the ball in his hands.
Wanamaker completes a 3-point play, 2-point ball game. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Anybody's ball game, and has been most of the way. Doncic to Coser. He drives. He gets it to Felipe. Reversed by him. Great connection between Coser and Felipe. Reyes, and they've really been the factor here in the third quarter.
Yeah, did I tell you Felipe didn't do much in that first half when he was in there for those 7 minutes? Well, he's certainly picking it up now.
Wanamaker stops and pops for 2. He's feeling it. Brad Wanamaker's heating up.
Boy, if you like battles on the floor, watch Wanamaker and Coser. They are going at it on both sides of the floor. Right now, it's Nunnally that's on Coser, but Wanamaker was all over him before.
Coser inside, loops up a one-hander, a little bit out of control and misses.
Ooh, almost. Coser wasn't looking. Ion knocked that ball out of Vesely's hands. Could have picked that ball up.
Wanamaker across to Melli, fakes it again, drives inside for the slam, but it goes off the back of the rim, and look at Rudy Fernandez chase it down. Ahead to Doncic, he'll take a transition 3 and knock it down, 55 to 50.
Luka had a lane to go to the basket and decided to stop popping and dropping from outside the three-point line. Confidence.
Those are the first 3 points for Doncic since he scored the first 6 of the ball game for Madrid. He's wanting to get back in a rhythm.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We were wondering if it had a little bit to do with the knee that he had in the first half, the little knee issue he had in the first half. But look at the contact. Look at this. Look at this is basketball right here, man. Get your body into somebody, throw some elbows around, throw some shoulders around.
Doncic getting called for his 3rd foul as a timeout on the floor sends the team to the benches midway through the 3rd quarter. With Real Madrid still a step ahead of Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, 55-50. Here's your foul situation. Duvarolu with 4 for Fenerbahce. Nobody else with more than 2, but Doncic and Gustavo Ayón both with 3 fouls for Real Madrid. And the game is tactically and close on the scoreboard and tactically rich as this game has been. Fouls could become a factor.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Look at the numbers on Wanamaker. 2 for 3 from 2, 4 for 5 from the line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a couple of steals, and he's lighting it up in 16 minutes. We've been talking about Melli the whole time as we see Melli's package, but it's Wanamaker too that's keeping him around.
Melli from the top. Melli driving hard. He plays from the first half. And Melli running the floor. He is now leading all scorers with 16 points. Kujura has become the first double-digit scorer for the Real Madrid with 11. There's Melli doing it in every way possible. He's probably scored every type of basket you can.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, the other person that we haven't seen much of here tonight is Ali Muhammad, who had made an appearance early in the game in 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Got himself a couple points, but hasn't been the factor. But he's had that kind of season all year long. There's been games where he's gotten the DNP, hasn't played. There's been other games where he's played for 1 minute only. So it's been an interesting year for him. The other day he lit it up, but right now we're going to see if Zelko goes back to him at all here in the 2nd half.
The foul by Doncic puts Luigi Datome on the free throw line, which makes it a little bit of a worse foul because Datome, one of the best free throw shooters in EuroLeague history, currently ranked 6th. So not the kind of guy you want to put on the free throw line, especially when he's been quiet lately too.
Yeah, Datome's up there with J.C. Carroll and Slukas at 91%.
He cuts the difference to 3 points as we see Sergio Yui back on the floor for Real Madrid. Doncic, step back 3 off the side of the rim and out of bounds.
That's some good defense by Nunnally. He read the scouting report, there's no doubt. When Doncic goes down and puts that shoulder in a little bit, he likes to take that step back. Nunnally did a great job of absorbing the contact from Doncic's body and getting out and leaping forward to defend that 3.
Vesely with the ball. Let's see if he tries to turn on Ayón, who has 3 fouls. Not that time. Wanamaker, Melli, Vesely, 5 on the shot clock. Wanamaker inside for the reverse, but before the reverse, he stepped on the end line.
Oh, nice move by Wanamaker. Shame that he stepped out there.
A little misfortune there for Fenerbahce. Good fortune for Madrid, because he really got up ahead of his team. Nobody was stopping him.
No, not at all. But you made a good point there, Frank. Vesely, we haven't seen him attack from the foul line like we did on Friday night against Ayón, especially with the 3 fouls.
That's exactly how he set the tone at the beginning Friday. We'll see if he tries it again tonight. Yui to Fernandez. They go inside to Ayón with a mismatch against Wanamaker. He's got to kick it out. Great save by Fernandez. And the shot by Yui is not close.
And that's the defense that you usually see on Fenerbahce. That's the kind of shots that they like for Real Madrid or other teams to get off at the end of the shot clock and forcing it.
That was all about the Fenerbahce defense on the double team. Nunnally steps in for his first shot and misses, but the rebound falls to Datome. He's got it back now. Goes to Wanamaker. Stop and pop for Wanamaker. Not that time, after he was hot.
Yeah, the pace has definitely slowed down there. It's like you come in a half-court game. As you're accustomed to seeing in championship games, things become strategic here in the 2nd half.
Ball inside to Felipe, turns on Melli. Can't get the shot off, ball goes out of bounds. Well, let's see what the call is.
Yeah, you look at the numbers. I know Vesely was affected by those 2 quick fouls, but offensively, he has been ineffective. Give Madrid a lot of credit. They've had trouble all year long defending that high pick and roll and the cutter down the middle. They've done it tonight, especially against Vesely. He only has 2 points, and if we remember correctly, Frank, those 2 points were on a tap-in where he just barely got his fingertips on it, and the ball went in, and those were the only 2 for Vesely this evening.
And only 3 rebounds as well, and he's been on the floor for almost 16 minutes.
Yeah, those are not typical Jan Vesely numbers, that's for sure.
Nelly just got called for his 3rd foul and went to the bench, replaced by Nikola Kalinic, while Reyes hits his first of 2 free throws. He's got a chance to get this back to a 5-point lead.
It's not an offensive explosive game by any means. 56-52 here with 2:41 to go in the 3rd, but it is an intense battle, and it is going to go down to the wire. Make no mistakes about it. We will have a great finish to this ball game.
5 points against. Lucas back in with the ball for Fenerbahce. Kalinic on the perimeter. Kazur defending up a storm there on the switch. Gets back to Lucas. They lob inside. Big man Tavares back in the game. Slaps it out.
It's hard to lob over Tavares from that close to the basket. He's all over the place down there, those long arms.
9th turnover by Fenerbahce. Kazur driving baseline, going strong. He is really aggressive tonight. Fabian Kazur, remember, he was in a Final Four a couple years ago with Baskonia. Didn't get a chance to play for the title. So this is something he's been waiting for a long time. He's up to 13 points.
And he is coming up big right now. Look at the collision right there. Bodies are flying in the lane.
Fernandez and Vesely.
And that'll send Vesely to the line. You know Vesely's had troubles from the foul line, although you have to give that young man credit. He's done an incredible job of getting better after that performance that he had a few years back in Berlin where he was 1 for 10. He's a 70% foul shooter this season, which is amazing considering the troubles that he's had over the years.
Oh, he has improved his, ever since that Final Four a couple years ago. He has improved his free throw shooting. But he's had trouble with Real Madrid over the years. Not so much over the years as this season, when in the 2 games combined against Real Madrid, he only had 9 points and 7 rebounds. So he's definitely run into problems against. Look at the rebound again by Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah, as a coach, that's the last thing you want to see is a point guard getting rebounds, but they get the ball back on the steal.
Real Madrid's interior defense has been pretty exceptional tonight as Fernandez misses the fast break. Vesely comes up with the rebound. Here's Lucas on the run. Goes to Kalinic for the slam. Great floor running by Nikola Kalinic. A great pass by Slukas.
Yeah, and I think that's what Fenerbahce has to try to do a little bit more of. They have to try to get out and get on a fast break. Madrid did it earlier in the game. Now Fenerbahce has to do it. It's a lot easier when you get that steal like they did a minute ago.
As you see, there's still a big difference in fast break points.
Look at Tavares down low with Wanamaker. They got to look for that mismatch.
Yuli driving hard. Pull up. Tavares with the rebound. Puts it back in. Nice move by him.
Yeah, and what happened right there is Yuli gets to the basket easily. Vesely has to come over to help out on that, and that leaves Tavares all alone underneath the basket. And then you saw exactly, I think Vesely now has to stop thinking about his foul situation because that time he just let Tavares score that.
And Tavares had a bad angle as well.
Yeah.
And he could have maybe challenged him. Just as Tavares would challenge Wanamaker, the ball comes out to Kazur, right man in the right place.
They got a 5-on-4 break.
Rudy
there.
Fernandez from deep. Hand on the ball, hand on the rebound was Trey Tompkins as Tommy came in to break it up and the ball went out of bounds on him.
You saw Madrid on that fast break smelling blood because Wanamaker was still on the floor on the other side. Rudy pulled up and it left Tompkins all alone underneath for the rebound. He just couldn't get it to go down.
Inbound to Tavares. 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Look at Kazur all the way in, almost got the three-point play opportunity, just put a little bit too much spin on the ball and backed out there.
Kazur has just been unbelievably aggressive. It's unreal to watch him go at the defense every time down the floor. This is a guy that had 3 points in the first half only, and all of a sudden he's dropped 10 here in the third quarter, and he's not done yet as he's going to the line and try to get 2 more in before this is over.
He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line so far. He's hit all 3 of his 3-pointers. and 1 for 2 driving to the basket. Fabian Kreuzer.
And Vesely will go to the bench as Melli comes in. Coach Obradovic trying to go a little bit smaller in the lineup. Got Kolinets out there at the 4, Melli at the 5, Datomi running around at the 3, Slukas and Wanamaker. So he's going to change the lineup, and Pablo Lasso reads that and sends Tavares to the bench. So it's becoming extremely strategic here in this third quarter with 36 seconds to go, leading us up in the fourth. And Corsair has a chance to give his team an 8-point lead here. It's one of the biggest leads we've seen of the game, any team.
8 was the biggest lead at 25-17 for Madrid in the early part of the second quarter. But Fenerbahce came back and erased all of that and went ahead at halftime. Kreuzer staying perfect at the free throw line, got it back to 8. 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Slukas across half court.
Look at the way they're containing Slukas, not letting him get to the basket, not letting him get in too close. Nobody's open. He's had the ball in his hand the whole possession.
Kalinic lobbing inside. It's Kreuzer coming from behind for the steal. And the steals are mounting up. That's the 7th one for Real Madrid and the 10th turnover. 11th turnover now by Fenerbahce.
And look, they're going to give it to Corsair. Oh, I thought they were going to give it to Corsair.
It makes it all the way out to him. 1 on the shot clock, but time runs out on the defense by Wanamaker. And the quarter ends with that man, Fabian Kreuzer, being the catalyst for Real Madrid. They were down 2 at halftime, and they now lead 63-55 after 30 minutes in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. And you have to say, Joe Arlakis, that quarter belonged to Madrid.
Find open players, and he can do a lot of damage from inside.
Look at everything this guy did in the third quarter, driving, hitting from deep, and just putting his team on his shoulders. 15 points. He only averaged 6.6 during the season.
You know, Frank, you never know. I mean, you saw with Ali Muhammad the other day. These two teams, you never know who is going to be the player that can knock you out of a game. And right now, it's Corsair for them. It was Melli for Fenerbahce early. Now it's Corsair.
We said that before the game. Any of these guys could do it, but you know, you look to the guys who have been there before for Real Madrid, and there's such a big package of them. But here's a guy who's in his first final, and he wants to show that he belongs, and has certainly done that in the third quarter. He's starting the fourth quarter as well.
Watch out, Ali Muhammad is in the game. Zelko looking for some quick offense.
Lucas to Melli, to Datome, long three-pointer misses, but Tavares with the rebound, and now that rebound advantage is 26-19 for Real Madrid. Slipped a little from halftime, but they're not letting Fenerbahce get too many boards. Corsair chased by all sorts of defenders and gets called for turning the ball over, palming the ball, a violation, as he slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, and Madrid has to keep their composure. They have a tendency to go at the referees a little bit and have some issues with the referees during games. They must keep their composure, and it's an 8-point lead for them right now. Could have been a bad call, whatever. You have to let that go right now. You're in the championship game in the fourth quarter. Play the game. Don't play the referees.
There you saw the first vision body cam of the referee, Luigi LaMonica. Ali Muhammad being chased by Sergio Yui, who commits a foul. Lead still stands at 8. And Yui now has his 3rd foul.
And it's tough to guard Ali Muhammad. Sergio's all over the place. He's so low to the ground. Sergio's low to the ground himself, but Ali Muhammad takes it another step further.
Here he goes inside, probing the lane, takes it out again, and Yui gets called for his 4th foul, crowding Ali Muhammad a little too much. You know, he's the smallest player on the floor, and you got to be careful with those guys because they know how to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, there's not, and this is the team's 3rd foul also. That works. No, the team's 3rd foul. I meant that's Serge's 4th foul, but that gives Fenerbahce the advantage, trying to get to the basket, try to get fouls, get to the line a little bit quicker. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was only the 2nd foul. The other one on Kosera then was a try. I thought they called a foul, but that's only the 2nd team foul. But still, that's what Fenerbahce wants to do. They want to get into the bonus as quick as they can to chip away at this lead.
Lucas to Melli. Melli drives strong onto Adidas, gets fouled and puts it down. 3-point play opportunity just when Fenerbahce needed it.
Nikola Melli just taking advantage of the big man and the one step. And if you're out there watching basketball, you're watching this game, and look at this, one dribble from the 3-point line. You don't need more than that. You want to take a direct line to the basket. One dribble is all it takes to get there. And you get the defender. If he takes one more dribble, Tavares makes that block shot.
He's wrong-footed, Tavares, and you see the frustration on the big shot blocker. 3-point play completed by Melli, keeps his team within 5.
Well, look at the small lineup that Zelko is out there now. Melli's defending Tavares for Fenerbahce, so we'll see if they look for those mismatches.
Luka Doncic on the floor now, as is J.C. Carroll. They go into Tompkins, backing down on Luigi Datome.
What a battle down low between the two of them. Datome getting low also and pushing Tompkins out. They're going to give him 2 shots on the turn, saying that he got him on the way up. So Tompkins goes to the line. And Tompkins is a pretty good free throw shooter. So
collision in the paint. Datome got called for the foul, but he had another defender with him.
Yeah, he had Melli coming over to help on the rotation. If you let him go and didn't reach in right there, he had a nice play on the backside. Could have got the block shot or disturbed the little baseline jumper by Tompkins, and Tompkins makes the first of 2, put his team back up by 6.
Madrid's now 10 for 13 from the line, which means those early misses have gone away for them, which is good news as they head down the stretch against the mastermind right there of Fenerbahce. The further they can push this lead and hit free throws, the better off they'll be. They're up by 7. Still plenty of time to play.
The mastermind needs to come up with something there because his team is looking flat offensively.
It's Lucas out to Melli. Now it's Kalinic in the corner, off the mark long, and look at Luka Doncic rip the rebound. Doncic on the run, gets through the D, can't finish, but he'll be going to the free throw line. You thought he had that. He made it all the way there.
Yeah, you did, and watch him use on the break. Watch him use Tavares. Look at that, comes off of Tavares, sees his big man running the floor, and you love when you see the big man running the floor. Look at the motion of Tavares. He thought that he helped his young point guard get himself an and one right there. The ball just rolled off the rim. But well, again, it's a veteran move from a 19-year-old kid. He missed a foul shot there, unfortunately for him, but what a nice recognition on the floor. Way to read the floor, read his big man running, and use him as a pick.
It's the 19-year-old MVP of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague season, honored last night, and comes out here trying to lift his team in the fourth quarter, playing within himself tonight, Luka Doncic, but he already has 10 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. Ali Muhammad trying from deep to get hot like he did about this time in the semifinals. Lucas with the long rebound. Out to Melli, he's got some 3-pointers. He styles up another one. He hits another one. Nikola Melli 3 for 4 from downtown. High scorer in this ball game with 22 points. But that was a huge one.
And the reason why he gets that one off is because of the move he made earlier against Tavares to get to the basket. Made Tavares come out honestly.
Doncic pulls it back out. That's a screen from Tavares. They go inside to him on the mismatch. Lucas is obligated to foul in that situation.
Yeah, and you have to foul the big man. You don't want him to get the ball and lay that up again like he did in the second half a couple times. But it was a slow pick and roll right there. I'm not sure that they had to switch, but Lucas may have to look to try to get that offensive foul. As now Zelko decides to go back to a big man in the lineup as Vesely comes in and Lucas goes to the bench. But again, it was the play by Melli earlier to get to the basket against Tavares that got him that open three-pointer a second ago. Ooh.
Madrid inbounds the ball to Trey Tompkins. Carroll against defense, misses everything, a little too forced. He had a big man coming behind him. Maybe he didn't see him.
Yeah, he had the Tommy coming up, but Carroll usually doesn't care about that. If he gets his feet set, he knows he can go up over defensive players and get that three off. But that play right there got the Fenerbahce fans here on their feet at the Stark Arena.
Cheering for a defensive stop. They'll need a few of them, but there's plenty of time left. Melli been doing all the damage for Fenerbahce. Kalinic. Ali Muhammad driving baselines, hands off to Vesely. Nice play, but he can't drop the shot.
How does Vesely miss that one being up there? It comes off the rim, just not his night right now.
But how does he not dunk it? That's his play. I mean, he just rises up so hard. You never see him try to lay it up.
He didn't have the footwork to dunk that. He just wanted to get that up quick, especially with Tavares hanging around the basket.
Maybe it is the intimidation factor you're talking about, Joe. Here's Doncic going against Datome. He was moving when he ran into Doncic, so that'll be a foul on Luigi Datome.
And that's 4 quick fouls by Fenerbahce, and to get them now from this point on, it's going to be in the bonus for Madrid. Every foul. And you see Zelko continuing to move his bench as Lucas comes off and Datome comes in. It's all becoming strategic right now. Datome, if he would have taken that a little bit harder, he might have got the offensive call, but he decided to keep his ground.
Brazier takes the inbounds pass, goes inside to Tavares and close. Ball kicks around. Brazier driving strong, misses. Rebound loose, still loose, and Melli comes up with it. A couple of Madrid players had their hands on that ball.
It seemed like everybody touched that before there was actual possession.
It's Lucas, stops and pops, misses the mark. Rebound corralled by the big man. Ball to Tavares.
Tavares is playing such a huge role, and now a unsportsmanlike foul called, I believe it was on Vesely.
Unsportsmanlike foul, and Luka Doncic grabbing his ankle and going to the floor. That'll be the 4th foul on Vesely. Remember, all EuroLeague center, first team for Fenerbahce now has 4 fouls after just 3 points and 4 rebounds in this ball game.
And that's 2 huge possessions. The miss by Lucas, the miss earlier underneath the basket by Vesely, and now you get the unsportsmanlike and you give Doncic 2 shots and the possession. This is a huge moment in this game. Can it turn Fenerbahce's fortunes around and get them more intense defensively, thinking maybe it's a bad call or maybe one way or another to help out their leader in this moment? But it's a difficult call right there. You see Vesely just run into Doncic, give him a little bit of a shot right there.
Similar to one earlier where he got the call when he ran into Rudy Fernandez, I think it was, on offense, but this was a different situation, and it went against Jan Vesely.
Vesely's out there with 4 fouls now. Corsair should attack him.
J.C. Carroll from downtown, and Real Madrid now has its biggest lead and the biggest lead of this ball game. They smelled blood with that unsportsmanlike foul, and they made it into a 5-point possession. And with just 6 minutes left, that could be a game breaker. Timeout on the floor, 71-61, Real Madrid ahead. Timeout on the floor gives us a chance to look at what was the 7 days magic moment of this ball game. And it happened in the third quarter when Lucas went on the break, handed it off to Nikola Kalinic, and he had no pity on the basket, going against the Real Madrid defense and slamming it down. And what was a high point moment of that third quarter for Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, Nikola Kalinic flying high, skying and slamming on the break in one of the highlights of the night in our 7 days magic moment. Here we have a 71-61 difference on the scoreboard. Real Madrid ahead with 6 minutes left in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. They've piled up the three-pointers. They've corrected their free throw shooting, Joe Arlaucus, and they're still dominating on the boards. We've seen some big rebounds by Walter Tavares in the last few minutes, and the kind of thing that Fenerbahce can usually change games, but haven't been able to do it yet, let's say.
No, they haven't been able to do it. And like I said, those last couple possessions, plus that unsportsmanlike foul and the 5-point play that you mentioned, has made a huge impact on the game. You think that sometimes that has an impact on the team that the foul's called against, motivates them a little bit. See if they can't come out of this timeout. But right now, Madrid has, like you said, smelled blood and taken advantage of this 10-point lead.
Brad Wanamaker's back on the floor after quite a few minutes out. He's got the ball. He's driving strong. Tavares against him puts Wanamaker on the floor. Tavares comes up limping. The ball misses, but Wanamaker will be going to the free throw line.
And there's 5 minutes and 45 seconds left in this game. And I don't want to be premature here, but you really have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff of Real Madrid. They've done an unbelievable job of containing Fenerbahce defensively. You saw Ali Mohammed get in the game. He could not get one good look at the basket. You've seen Wanamaker have a little bit of run, but they've shut that down. Another guy is Lucas. Lucas hasn't been as effective as he normally is, not only scoring, but getting other people involved in the game. It's not his type of game where he likes to control the pace, be more patient, and get people in the game. He hasn't had that effect. Madrid's done a great job.
Both shots down by Wanamaker. Cuts it back to 8 after it had been a 10-point lead, the highest of the ball game so far. Doncic out top. Wanamaker on him. J.C. Carroll to Trey Tompkins. Steps back for the three after the fake. Misses, but look at big Walter Tavares picking that rebound out of there. Really frustrating Jan Vesely. You saw it on the unsportsmanlike foul, and you saw it right there after he missed the rebound. That size is a factor of Walter Tavares. It's going to be Doncic launching from way downtown, in and out on the bank shot. Trey Tompkins with the rebound. Big play underneath. They are just ruling underneath on the board.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Tommy has a case, though. Tompkins was in the lane throughout. Look at it. He's there throughout the 14 seconds of the possession, and he ends up getting the rebound on top of it. Tommy couldn't push him underneath the basket, and Tompkins takes advantage. Frank, I was watching the play, and I have a perfect angle over Tompkins' head to Doncic, and he never moved. He stayed right there, and the 3 seconds wasn't called, and Tommy was not happy about it.
It leaves Trey Tompkins on the free throw line. It was the offensive rebounds have hurt Fenerbahce regardless. That's now the 11th offensive rebound from Real Madrid.
It's a 10-point lead here with 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Lucas pulls it out to Melli. Almost throws it away.
Look at the
Apparently
defense.
touched by Fabian Kuzur. It'll be Fenerbahce ball.
Yeah, they're shutting off all the lanes. Melli that time couldn't get to the basket. Great help by Kosera. Helping recover. He got back in time, got his hand on the ball, went out of bounds, but there's only 10 seconds left now.
Wanamaker going against Carroll. Gets the pass to Melli somehow. Melli misses in close. Vesely misses the tip in. Ball's on the floor. Melli flying around. Can't get the handle on it. Tompkins comes up with it. So with under 5 minutes left and a 10-point lead, Real Madrid with possession. And now every second counts for Fenerbahce.
Vesely just having a tough time today. Not his day, there's no doubt. He has had some looks underneath the basket right there on the offensive rebound. Had another shot at it and just could not go in. And Doncic is going to go to the line for 2 to try to make this a 12-point game.
And you said it a few minutes ago, whatever happens in the rest of this game, you have to give Real Madrid credit. They went into the Final Four without having their full roster in any single game
It's amazing.
of the previous 34 this season. They persevered to make it to the Final Four when many teams would have been counted out just for the sheer number and length of the injuries. And here they are now up by double digits with 4:26 to play in the championship game, and not just any championship game, against a Obradovic-coached Fenerbahce team that is the defending champion.
And let's go back early in the season. They were 4-0 to start the season, Frank. Then all of a sudden they were 5-7. They had lost 2 out of 9 games, and they were looking terrible. And they got back into it. They found a way to get back into it. They're here tonight, about to win this game.
Melli from deep. He's got another one.
Well,
4 for 5 from downtown, and 25 points for Nicola Melli. He's been the main gun by a long shot for his team. Wanamaker has 10 points. But other than that, it's been Melli keeping them in it at most of this ball game.
Right there was a case where J.C. Carroll comes off the pick and he has to go left. It's a different situation. Vesley's got to be careful.
Carroll from way downtown, off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound, Fabian Pezur. Trey Tompkins tipping it to them. The hustle players are going to Real Madrid. And with the scoreboard at an 8-point difference, that means everything. Ball tipped out of bounds by a Fenerbahce defender.
Not a good possession right there after they retained it, where Doncic was trying to wave Tavares. There's a miscommunication between Doncic and Tavares. He wanted to go one-on-one against Melli. Tavares wanted to set the pick, and he ends up throwing the ball. There's only 2 seconds left in his shot clock right now.
Plenty of time left in this ball game. 3:24 to play, and the difference of just 8 on the scoreboard doesn't mean anything about Fenerbahce. But when you talk about momentum, Madrid took it and held it for a long period of time here, probably longer than any other team in this ball game. Either team in this ball game, I should say, when it was going back and forth for the first 2 quarters.
Madrid has controlled it since Koser came out on fire in the beginning of that 3rd quarter. And right now, there's a moment for Fenerbahce with 2 seconds as we see both coaches showing their emotions during the game. But right now, I'm telling you, Frank, is an important moment for Fenerbahce. And this could break the game if they give up an easy basket here with 2 seconds left, because Pablo Lasso is setting up a play to get this basket. And if they can get a stop and go down and get a basket, they're going to bring the fans into the game, and they're going to bring their defensive energy back into this game.
But remember who he's going against. That man right there. 9 EuroLeague titles, 9-2 in final games. And some of them have been in dramatic fashion. So with 3:24 to play, there is no counting out Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul or Željko Obradovic and his players, because
you haven't
until it's over, this man is in any ball game.
Absolutely, but you just haven't seen the same focus out of his team. Let's see what happens here on this out-of-bounds set by Pablo Lasso and his team.
Comes into Yoy, puts it up the inbound right away, and he misses, so the ball goes to Fenerbahce.
I'll tell you get a basket here if you're Fener, an easy look, and you're bringing your crowd back into this game. They're going to start feeling it.
Melli goes into the post, gets it back from Slukas now on the perimeter. Great D by Madrid. Melli's got to go strong. Tompkins strips him into the hands of Yoy for turnover number 12 for Fenerbahce.
What a defensive play by Trey Tompkins on Melli.
That's the top scorer in this ball game. Tompkins was with him step for step, and I think there was no doubt about the strip. He got all ball. Yoy, 5 on the shot clock, goes against Wanamaker. He's going to have to invent something. Offensive foul. Well, Sergio Yoy will send him out of the ball game. Difficult game for him, but he did reach out, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he threw the elbow back and got him. He knows it. He's looking at the ref, saying that he flopped a little bit, but he definitely got him. You're going to see right there the wraparound. Look at that.
That's the foul right there.
That'll send him out. That'll send him to the bench, but
that's bad news for Madrid. You really want him. You really want him on the floor for his leadership, even though he hasn't had the best of games. Sergio Yoy, 5 points. Melli from deep. This time it doesn't go. Look who grabs the rebound. Ali Muhammad, the shortest guy on the floor, trying to inspire his team with 2:26 to play. Wanamaker around to Melli. He's going to go to the free throw line as Tavares lands on him.
Melli has been a star tonight. He's aggressive, but that rebound by Ali Muhammad was huge right there. Trying to get another possession, get it to Melli. Now Melli goes to the line. Has to try to knock down these 2 to make this a 6-point ball game with 2:22 to go. And another stop by Fenerbahce, just tighten things up more for Real Madrid.
1 free throw so far from Melli in this ball game, and he hit that. On the season, he's 81% from the line. Gets his first of 2 to go down in this occasion.
Expect some full court pressure here out of Fenerbahce too. If he makes the second free throw, I could see them picking up full court, maybe setting up some kind of trap in the corners like they did against Zalgiris.
Misses, however. D'Antoni fighting for the rebound. It goes off Tompkins and out of bounds. Look at Luigi D'Antoni going against the big tower, Tavares.
Sometimes all you got to do in that situation is get your hands on the ball and cause it some sort of deflection. Make sure no one gets an absolute possession. And that from that point on, anything happens. And we saw it go out of bounds on Tompkins that time.
Wanamaker inbounds it, gets it back. Muhammad out top. Driving on Carroll. Tipped by, looked like he was tipped by Tavares, but it went in anyway. And a big shot by Ali Muhammad takes the difference down to 5. Ended up being a 3-point possession for Fenerbahce.
Here comes the fans right now. The pressure's on from Madrid. It's a big possession going inside of Tompkins.
Look at the pass by Tompkins. Melli, as Tavares tried to dunk, it's called for the foul. Tavares can't believe he didn't dunk it.
I think the big man got up a little bit too high on that one. He overrode the rim and went to the back as Melli goes up to try to block. No, it was all arm right there, no doubt about it.
Took his arm out.
Yeah.
With his fourth foul on Melli. If Fenerbahce can come back and maybe try to put this game into overtime, it would be a good result for them at this point.
Yeah, you're not concerned about that
right
right now.
Not at this point.
You have to make Tavares go to the line. You cannot give up that dunk right there and let him. The big man from the line has got that wide spread in his legs. The nice touch for a guy that size.
Important one, the first one right there. Gets the lead back up to 6. Full concentration. 2 meters 20. 2 for 2. Walter Tavares. Key free throws. And you see how Pablo Lasso has read this ball game and let his big man stay in there for everything he's done on defense as well. Because unusual to see Real Madrid play such an important game down the stretch without Felipe Reyes on the floor. But that move of Walter Tavares is paying off.
Tavares has 1 block shot today, but it's all the shots that Fenerbahce didn't take that were not able to take because of his presence.
Timeout on the floor, minute 50 left. Real Madrid 76-69 as they try to take their 10th continental title since the start of European competitions back in 1958 and try to take the trophy out of the hands of defending champion Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul. Plenty of time left, just a 7-point difference. And a minute 50 to go with timeout on the floor. You see the foul situation. Vesely with 4, Melli with 4, Duvrola with 4 for Fenerbahce. And there you see the trophy waiting for the winner of this ball game. However long it takes. The 2018 Champions Trophy. And it will be a deserving winner, whoever it may be, because these two teams have put in the work all season long to be here, and they've really gone at it hammer and tongue tonight.
This has been a battle tonight. There's still a little bit more battling to go with 150 left in this game. Fenerbahce is going to have to get a quick possession and try to score and get a stop on the defensive end. Maybe throw in a full court press that we talked about before. They weren't able to do it on the missed free throw.
Switch and the block by Doncic. Wanamaker gets it back. Going to ride to the rim. Can't finish. He was right there.
Wow.
And Tompkins gets a rebound and gets fouled. Huge play right there. Huge play.
That was an incredible block by Doncic right there. Wanamaker fortunate enough to get that rebound back and then misses the left. That's 3 or 4 shots they've missed from underneath the basket. Look at it, just rimming out. This is all about Real Madrid right now, solidifying the victory.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you, Joe. It just seems with these missed layups, one by Vesely, now one by Wanamaker, shots that always go down for them, that Real Madrid, Fenerbahce has been unable to figure out Real Madrid, and I think their confidence has dropped. This team was so confident all night Friday, and all weekend come through the playoffs and into this Final Four, but you don't see that today. We talked about Veselik in the early 2000s when 2 nights ago he was just ramming people. He was challenging everybody from the get-go. He didn't come back and do that, but some of it has rubbed off on everybody but Melli and Wanamaker on this team.
Yeah, and you know what I call it? I call it physicality. This is a very physical team, and they didn't play physical tonight. And a lot of it had to do with those first 2 fouls on Vesely to send him to the bench, because he is a leader with the energy that he possesses and gives to his team. And he's a physical player, but I said it earlier in the broadcast when I talked about him, he's foul prone, and if Madrid can get him on the bench early, that's a huge advantage for them.
78-69, Real Madrid up by 9. Minute and a half to play. Gatome, step back 2 on the mark, but he couldn't get the 3-pointer off. And maybe Fenerbahce can't win without a 3-pointer at this point. They try to steal the ball from Doncic, but the foul is called, looked like on Ali Mohammed.
You know, send Doncic to the line right here to continue to just go make this lead a little bit more. Trying to get this up to 9 points here with 1:23. Getting this game to the point where it's out of reach. Look at there, you see Mohammed's arm just come right across Doncic. Could have looked like a clean steal at first, but definitely got a piece of both arms right there. And now Doncic will go to the line, who's 6 for 8 tonight. So he's missed a couple, but this is where he shines, and this is where he wants to make these free throws. Look at the season this 19-year-old is going to have. MVP of the EuroLeague, rising star 2 years in a row, and a possible MVP award in the Final Four and championship game. Absolutely amazing. I will predict that we will never see this again, Frank, out of a 19-year-old.
Absolutely. Teenager never won those awards, that MVP award before, but to lead his team to a championship on the miss by Mohammed and a rebound by Tompkins. They steal the ball, does Fenerbahce, going into Wanamaker, but Doncic commits a smart foul right there.
And again, here's another situation where they're going to get 2 free throws. Wanamaker's going to go to the line and get 2 free throws. They're going to want to set up a press here, but they tried this before, and they couldn't set up the press because Melli missed the second free throw. And Madrid is obviously going to have their small team in, their ball handlers. You see Koser, Doncic on the floor, Jeffrey Taylor out there. And now Anthony Randolph's coming in for Taylor for the rebound, so that he can be in there with Trey Tompkins to secure the rebound on the foul shot, which they don't want to give up a make. First make the Wanamaker, and then a possible miss on a rebound. They want possessions right now, and they want to be able to go to the line and win this game from the line.
Wanamaker hits his 7th out of 8 from the line tonight.
Let's see if Fenerbahce can set up some kind of full court trap, where they can get a trap in the corner like they did against Doncic a second ago, but you can't foul when you have him in that trap.
And he makes the second as well. Gets the difference down to 7 with 1 minute and 4 seconds left.
Watch them force the ball to the corner if they can.
They get the ball into Koser. Good cut by him. Gets it across half court and ahead to J.C. Carroll. Carroll pulls it out to kill some time. Tompkins looking for Doncic and gets it to him finally.
But at this point, you don't want to foul if you're Fenerbahce, and you don't want to bail him out.
10 on the shot clock. They go to Randolph. It's now Doncic. 4 on the shot clock. Goes across to Carroll, but gets intercepted by Wanamaker. Wanamaker on the run, gets fouled by Doncic. He'll have to leave the ball game. And the foul is called on him. Foul number 5 on Luka Doncic right here.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go look at that. They're definitely going to go take a look at that. He did come down across the head. This could be a big call if they send him to the line with an unsportsmanlike. He went for he was definitely going for the ball, but there's no doubt that his arm came down across the top of Wanamaker's head. We'll see what the referees decide here, but you see that right there. It doesn't look good on video, that's for sure.
The official review is going on to determine whether the foul committed by Luka Doncic is 5th. Maybe an unsportsmanlike foul. In which case, Fenerbahce would not only get 2 free throws,
Yeah,
they would get possession.
They get possession. They could turn this into a one-possession game here. 73-75, get a three-pointer. It's 80-78, and we have ourselves a ball game in the last possession. See what he calls. Just a regular foul right there.
He was definitely reaching for the ball.
Yeah, he was going for the ball. There was contact made, though.
The question they look at is whether there was reckless contact made on the other player in a dangerous way. I think he got a piece of the ball.
It looked like he got a little piece of it also.
Brad Wanamaker, in any case, goes to the free throw line for 2 shots, where he's been almost perfect tonight. He's got another one going down. He's up to 13 points.
And it's important he makes this one again to set up that trap if they can. Madrid is going to try to get the ball out quickly. If Tompkins or Randolph could take it out as quick as possible. But with that timeout, they're going to be able to set their defense up here. It's a 5-point game. Just dragging this game out a little bit, and that's what Fenerbahce has to do in this situation. Extend this game as long as they can. The clock is their enemy, and you have to try to stop it as much as you can.
5-point difference, 80-75, with 38.6 seconds left in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Championship game. The teams are discussing how they're going to attack this last little bit of time, but as you said, when the clock stops and the fouls start and the free throws start, the time can last very, very long, as we've seen again and again over the years.
Well, if you're Fenerbahce right now, there's a 14-second differential on the game clock and the shot clock. So if you're going to fight, what you want to do in this situation, Frank, is you want to get the quick trap. Don't let the ball go to the middle like they did earlier to Koser. Try to force it to a corner. Get the trap, see if you can get a steal. The minute you don't get a steal, you want to foul. You don't have enough time with a 5-point deficit to let this shot clock run out, 24 seconds, and maybe give Madrid an easy basket.
There you see our top scorers, 26 points for Nicolo Melli of Fenerbahce, 15 for Doncic, also Fabian Kozer with 15 in this ball game for Real Madrid. But Doncic will have to sit out the rest of this.
Is where Melli,
he's looking very nervous there.
Melli wants to push this ball down to the corner if he can. There he's going to go for the shot right there.
Rudy Fernandez to Facundo Campazzo, dribbling the ball away, gets it to Carroll, and he gets fouled.
Boy, and Campazzo might have got away with a little bit of a travel there. I don't know if he lost possession, and that was the reason why they didn't call, but it looked like he took a couple extra steps before he regained it and got it to, I think, Fernandez it was.
Right in front of the Fenerbahce bench. There's tears in the eyes of the Fenerbahce fans. Got to keep the faith. It's only 5 with 32 seconds left, but of course, J.C. Carroll's going to the free throw line.
Yeah.
that will make you a little worried.
That'll bring tears to your eyes if you're a Fenerbahce fan, there's no doubt. JC is money from the line.
One of the great shooters in the history of the EuroLeague, J.C. Carroll.
And you don't even want to talk about the Iron Man. His stamina is absolutely unbelievable. Tonight is 134 consecutive games. He's not missed a game since April 2014.
He just made the first of 2. Golden shot right there. If he makes the second one, almost puts his game out of reach. But also he breaks the single season record for free throw percentage in the EuroLeague. He was 44-45 coming into this game. He missed the second one.
Come on, Frank.
Happens to the best of us. Wanamaker, 26 seconds left. Goes to Muhammad. He takes a three-pointer. He knocks it down. Ali Muhammad is not giving up. We got a 3-point ball game with 22.4 seconds left. And he did it the other night. You know what his motto is? Heart over hype.
Exactly. We see that all the time from him. And you're seeing it right now. Again, Madrid is going to take the ball up here in the front court. And it's this time again, Fenerbahce is going to have to push that ball, try to get to the corner. They did it before against Campazzo and almost got the steal, but they need to trap that little man. And look at Ali. Look at the extension. Look at how he gets up on the three-pointer. And of course, J.C. Carroll in that situation did not want to foul him, but 22 seconds left. Shot clock is off. You go for the steal, and if you don't get it, you have to foul as quick as possible. They took 7 seconds to commit the foul on the last possession when J.C. Carroll went to the line. They can't give up 7 seconds this time. They have to get the trap and make a foul quickly.
Timeout, 22.4 seconds left. Real Madrid ahead, 81-78. And a trophy of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague season waiting at the sideline for whoever survives this ball game.
Watch, Melly's gonna pressure the pass right off the bat. Then he's gonna turn around and try to double somebody. You see him looking over his left shoulder to see the first person that comes out. And he's gonna want to try to, as much as he can, to force the ball down to this side of the court in the corner so that they can maybe get a trap on him.
Let's see what happens. Rudy Fernandez inbounding. Brazier gets it right away.
Too easy right there. You got to foul. What are they doing?
The trap, and the foul's committed by Wanamaker.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trap or you have to foul. There's no other way to go about that with no shot clock. The shot clock's off. As far as Corsair's concerned, he'll sit there for the 22 seconds.
Brazier 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Tonight, 71% for the season. And one is extremely important because it'll make it a 2-possession game with just under 19 seconds remaining.
Whoa, real short on that first one. You're seeing strange things happen here. J.C. Carroll misses a free throw. Now Corsair comes up real short. Let's see what happens during the second one.
Second one misses, and there's Trey Tompkins with the tip-in. Oh, what a play. It could be the game winner. Trey Tompkins coming around and putting the miss right in and hung up there for a while. The Fenerbahce big men were looking for a quick rebound when they saw it missing, but Tompkins stepped in, tipped it in, and that could be a championship winning play.
Well, the big man just mistimed it. I think it was Melly that went up to try to knock it off the rim, and it rolled around just a little bit longer than he thought it was going to roll around. We're going to see it right here. Melly's going to go up. Look at Melly's going to go up to try to get it off the rim. Rolls around just enough to hang in there, and Tompkins makes the move and gets the easy basket. And you saw Pablo. Look at Pablo Lasso. Yeah, that was lucky.
Look at the teammates of Trey Tompkins. They smell the victory with that big play, and just 18 seconds left here in Belgrade after a full season of 260 games and a fantastic weekend of basketball. Real Madrid looking for what they call La Décima, which would be the 10th title in their history and the most already they have in the history of European club basketball since 1958, but they'll put a little more distance between them and their pursuers if they can last 18 seconds with a 5-point lead over the defending champions Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul.
And right now you have to set up for a 3-point shot. Try to get the 3-pointer out to get yourself to within 2 so that when they go to the line, there's a little extra pressure on them. Now they're going to go right for the 2 quick.
Driving in strong.
And now you got to foul quick. Don't get too much time off the clock. You had to foul Corsair. He just missed 2. What was Melly thinking right there? You had to foul him. He's going to go to the line anyways. But Melly had a chance to foul him with within a half of a second.
Well, he went for the steal.
Yeah, but
got out of position. He got a piece of the ball because Kazur had trouble actually receiving the pass. It was almost a turnover. Luigi Datome commits a foul and sits down with his 5th foul.
What's Corsair thinking about right now? Who's going to bail him out this time if he misses? Corsair's got to drill these here. He's got to be solid. Ooh.
First one down for Fabian Corsair, makes it a 2-possession game with just under 13 seconds left. You can almost hear the sigh of relief from the Madrid bench on that one. And with that one, you can hear the sigh all the way from the Spanish capital. Real Madrid in control. It's Lucas driving in strong, gets it blocked by Kazur. He's been the man of the game. Rudy Fernandez throws it up in the air. This is over, and Real Madrid has taken the trophy from Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul with a fantastic performance of team basketball tonight to become the new Turkish Airlines EuroLeague champions. Look at them celebrate. It's 85-80. Real Madrid coming back from a season full of injuries. That was their story until they came to the playoffs and made it to the Final Four, but the story ends with a 10th title in the history of this world-renowned club, Real Madrid, and they are going back to Spain with the trophy.
Frank, what can you say about the job that Pablo Lasso and his coaching staff has done this year? They have faced so much adversity throughout the season, starting with before the season in the summer when Sergio Llull goes down. The second game of the regular season.
Turkish Airlines. 7 days. B-Win. Endesa. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Kuzmic goes down. The third game, Ion goes down. Then a week later, Randolph goes down, comes back in after 2 weeks, and he goes back out again. It's been a roller coaster ride for this team.
And Campazzo into the season missed the playoffs. They were not a full team. And if you think of Kuzmic, although he was replaced by Tavares, they haven't been a full team they expected when the season started for one single game.
That's amazing. You have to really tip your hat to Pablo Lasso and his entire coaching staff. Giving the young guys with Doncic, Santiago used to, throughout the season, the confidence to come in and play big games, starting big games. There you see with Doncic right there. But Mama, I don't even know what to say. You really have to congratulate Pablo Lasso on the job that he's done this year. It's been by far, we know in 2015 he won every cup there was, but this has been by far his best coaching season of his entire career.
That was at home, and that was one thing. It was the first one in a long time from Real Madrid, 20 years since you had won it with this club, and that was big enough. But as you said, even when we're coming to the Final Four, every time he was asked, is this one the most special qualification for the Final Four? And he said, I have to say so. We didn't know where we were at any stage of the season.
Nope.
Sergio Llull didn't come back till two games into the playoffs.
Frank, he never had a team. He never had a full team to work with. The story's amazing. If you really look at the entire season, it's amazing to look at what they have done. There you see young guy Santiago used to up on the podium with Trey Tompkins. He stepped up throughout the season. Even though he put in small minutes, they were quality minutes. And you know what? It's Pablo Lasso giving them the confidence.
He was starting games used to during all the injuries, and the kid was playing tough defense and helped them, move along and get back in the race. I mean, they dropped down pretty far to the middle of the table at one time. They still didn't have home court advantage in the playoffs. And this makes it the fourth time in a row that a team that won the first game of the playoffs. No, they won the second on the road. My mistake.
Yeah, they won the second. But hey, let me tell you something. I might get beeped right here, but they got their butts handed to them in that first game against Panathinaikos. Without Campazzo, they looked like they were a troop that was going down 3-0 to Panathinaikos.
And before we go any further, let's give all the credit in the world to Jelko Obradovic and Fenerbahce for taking the great run at this back-to-back try of theirs. It didn't work out for them. They over the last 2 years, and before that when they made it to the final and lost in the overtime, have been a model of great basketball. And now we're going to hear from Pablo Lasso of Real Madrid, the new champion of the EuroLeague.
Coach, congratulations. Real Madrid 2018 EuroLeague champion. How does it feel?
Well, how to describe it? Great. Great because it's not only today, it's the whole year through. The way the team stayed together, people out, people in, people out. A lot of problems during the year. We stayed together, we keep on fighting. We're getting better day by day. And right now, I just got to be very proud about my players to getting this trophy. I mean, unbelievable weekend. It's hard what to say. I'm very happy for the people in Madrid that are watching on TV. Very happy for the people that come here. Real Madrid is a great club, and it's in our ADN. We're gonna keep on fighting, and we'll keep on fighting. Anything can happen, well, we'll be there, and we showed until the end.
But how difficult was it in the span of November, December? You had 6 losses.
Yeah.
Did you still believe?
I think that was the great part of the success, or a great part of the success. We never gave up. We just thought that these problems, they wouldn't kill us. they wouldn't kill us. We will keep on going. We will keep on fighting. We got some guys here who even dress that they were very important for us. Justa, Radonjic, Kuzmic, Randall. They didn't dress today, and for us, it's part of the team. And we won those games when we needed in December, in November, and we arrived here. It was a great year because we finally achieved to come here. We have this kid who can play a little bit of basketball, and when we arrived here, we knew that it was our opportunity and our moment, and we were convinced up here, and we did it. Very happy.
That's your season. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pablo Lasso with his second title as the head coach of Real Madrid. Heartfelt thanks to his teams as we watch Fenerbahce try to figure out what went wrong as they sit on the bench. We'll take a look now at our Adidas player of the game, and that is none other than Fabian Cazur, who came off the bench and just lit things up for Real Madrid from the moment he walked on the floor. Hit the first three-pointer of the game and kept going from there. First three-pointer for his team and kept going from there. Hardly missing anything. 6 for 8 on free throws, 3 for 3 on three-pointers, but was hustling every step and every corner of the court. Had a couple assists as well, and led the new EuroLeague champions with 17 points in this great championship game victory. Here he is.
Congratulations. I mean, what a performance by you. You gave a huge spark. You tripled your season average with points scored. How do you feel?
Well, it's a great story because 2 years ago with Baskonia, I was hurt. I couldn't play, you know, and when we qualified to Final Four, I didn't want to have any regret. I left it all on the court both games. Today I made shots, so when you make shots, it gets easier. We played a huge game. This team had so many injuries during the season. We're coming from so far. Everybody was like thinking Real Madrid is not the same this year, but here we are. We're the champs.
That's what it seemed like. You were a true team. 11 players scored in the semifinal. Again, 11 players scored today. Is this the team?
Yeah, we are a family. We love each other from the first day. These guys, they won so many wars together. I'm just a new one. I learned a lot from them, and I'm happy I can share a title with them.
Congratulations, a great success.
Thank you very much.
Fabian Cazur, the top scorer tonight for the new champions, Real Madrid. We had a Frenchman who was the hero of the Final Four a couple years ago, Nando de Colo of CSKA Moscow. And tonight, France has another champion in this man, Fabian Cazur, who, as he said, was part of a great team effort, but he was true spark plug.
I got a little Instagram messaging going back and forth with him and Leo Westerman when I called him this sexy Frenchman when he played a couple of games with that black eye. And let me tell you something, he's never been more sexy than he is right now for this Real Madrid team.
Hey, give the front office at Real Madrid a lot of credit. They put together a great roster. They didn't panic when they had a bunch of injuries. They only replaced Walter Tavares. They brought in Walter Tavares when Kuzmic was going out for the year, and they stuck with their guys. And that has built that faith, as we see the award going to the second place team and being presented by the chairman of Turkish Airlines, İlker Ayçi, to the runner-up from his home country, Fenerbahce Dogus Istanbul, and their captain, Melih Mehmetoğlu. Great champions that have been throughout the year, step by step, all the way until this final, and they put it out there tonight as well.
Yeah, they didn't play as serious of a game as they're used to playing, but Frank, you mentioned one thing, and it was Walter Tavares, or Eddie as he likes to be called. He was the signing of the year for them. He was so big throughout the season. I did a stat one time where he played more than 14 minutes. The team had I think at one point they were like 9-3 when he was on the court for more than 14 minutes, and they were 6-5 when he was on the court for less than 14. So he was important.
And they have just announced
again
that Luka Doncic is the MVP of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four, the youngest ever, just like he was the youngest MVP of the season ever, announced last night. And the veteran EuroLeague legend, EuroLeague basketball legend, Dusan Ivkovic from right here in Belgrade takes the honor of presenting the MVP trophy to 19-year-old Luka Doncic, 18 to start the season, and he started it like gangbusters, and he has ended it as a champion, MVP, and Final Four MVP of the EuroLeague, something we, as you said earlier, Joe, we may not see for a long time.
And that's a clean sweep right there. Don't forget the Rising Star Award also. He's taken every award that he could possibly take this year.
All EuroLeague first team, Rising Star, MVP, and MVP of the Final Four. Luka Doncic came, saw, and conquered. Remember 3 years ago when they won the title in Madrid, he was still on the junior team.
Yeah.
And he won the junior tournament, the Adidas Next Generation Junior Tournament, and got the MVP of that as well.
Look at this. Look at this. 1 million miles from Turkish Airlines. I'm going to have to sit down with Luka and get about 500,000 of them transferred if I can. I think I'm going to talk to him. I could use half of those miles. Where's he?
Aichi, the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague chairman of the board, giving one of the prizes to the MVP. 1 million miles on the title sponsor Turkish Airlines flights.
Where's Luka got to go? He's 19 years old. He's got to continue to play basketball. Give me those 1,000 million miles.
The celebration continues for Real Madrid. There's still a trophy presentation to go. A trophy that belongs to every single one of them, and a lot of people that backed them up along the way. Remember, you mentioned Sergio Llull was the MVP of the league last year, and they played the entire season without him. And they knew it in mid-August. They put a team together, and that started falling apart. But they did not lose faith for 1 second. And as you said before, Pablo Lasso deserves a lot of credit for the mental part of it. But I think a lot of people behind him, have shored up these players, both in the medical staff and the training staff, but also given a lot of confidence to the guys, the younger guys like Justa and the newcomers like Kazur, who made this happen.
You know, Frank, there was a pivotal moment as we're going to see them making their way to the podium in the third game against Panathinaikos when Sergio Llull made his first appearance of the season. He was 0 for 4. He didn't look good. He looked good physically, but he didn't look in rhythm in basketball. And Pablo Lasso stuck with him, and he drilled those 2 threes. I thought that Pablo Lasso would put him on the bench. He stuck those 2 threes in the fourth quarter to give his team a lead in the victory. And here we're going to see it. But that was a pivotal moment for this team and the confidence that Pablo instills in his players.
Now wait for the presentation of the trophy. We see Jordi Bertomeu, president and CEO of EuroLeague Basketball, handing out individual trophies. First to Sergio Llull, and he contributed in getting them to this Final Four. Had a big game on Friday, fouled out tonight. But of course, he's one of the inspirations of Real Madrid. Jeffrey Taylor's been with the team a few years, working hard. Anthony Randolph gets his first after missing with Lokomotiv Kuban a couple years ago. Trey Tompkins, as you said, under the radar guy. Here come the guys. Facundo Campazzo won in 2015 with him, so he's got his second. Kazur, as he told us, couldn't do it, couldn't try to do it. He was hurt for the last Final Four. We see Santi Justa. And Randall Chasson was with them the whole year practically.
And as Pablo said before, as Pablo said, they all contributed in their own way. It's been a team effort all the way through.
Walter Tavares, Gustavo Ayllón, Felipe Reyes, Rudy Fernandez, and J.C. Carroll with their second each. They were there in 2015.
Look at that beautiful little moment right there with Rudy Fernandez and his child.
Rudy Fernandez celebrating with his child, the big hat on, the champion's hat. And there's Pablo Lasso and his staff getting a much-deserved moment in the spotlight as they receive their trophies from Jordi Bertomeu of EuroLeague Basketball.
But what a season it's been, Frank, all the way from day one back in October to right now in this moment. What a season.
It's always admirable, the work that these guys put in, the champions of the EuroLeague. But you have to say just about Real Madrid this year that they had to work maybe just a little more than some champions, and they had to spread around their responsibility. And they had an inspirational player right here.
And they had to believe, too. There was a lot of belief that they needed to instill in themselves. Here we go, the moment.
Here they are. your 2018 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague champions are about to receive the trophy that they're all playing for. 16 teams, 260 games, and then this one, the 261st. Sergio Uri and Felipe Reyes raise it to the rafters for the second time in 4 years. Real Madrid, and the 10th time in their history, is the champion of the
feeling very special for me. It was really hard. We need to fight till the end, and I'm so glad to have these teammates, to have these coaches, to have everybody in my team, and I'm really happy.
I mean, it's an incredible list of your accomplishments personally and of your team. Just tell the viewers how different. I mean, physically nobody doubts that you are ready for every single game, but how do you prepare mentally? You have so much on your shoulders at 19.
Yeah, I mean, everybody talk about pressures, you know, and every time I step on the court, I just want to have fun. The time I don't have fun, I just don't play so good, you know. And it just to have fun on the court, and every possession matters. So that's what we did today.
You looked like you had so much fun together as a team. Everybody speaks about it. This is a true team. Did you feel this is one big family and that was the key to your success?
The key was, you know, to be always as a team, you know. When we're losing, when we are winning, to be as a team. When Sergio injured, everybody was like, this Real Madrid can do nothing, you know. They didn't have trust in us. I have faith in our fans. They did a great job out there. I'm really glad to be in Madrid, so I'm happy with my family.
Great, enjoy the great success.
Thank you.
He went to the Spanish capital, 13 or 14 years old, from Slovenia, and it was all with this moment in mind. And Luka Doncic has made it happen as the MVP of the EuroLeague season, the rising star, and the Final Four MVP. One of the great seasons we've seen in the history of European basketball. Only a handful of players have ever won both MVP trophies of the season and the Final Four, and this 19-year-old is now one of them. It's also the first Slovenian to win the title since 2010. Jeffrey Taylor becomes the first Swede ever to win the EuroLeague, and Walter Tavares, of course, is the first from Cape Verde. Now we're going to hear from Sergio Uri in just a couple seconds.
Sergio, you are a very inspirational story. You came back after 8 months at the right time, and you helped your team so much at the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm really happy. This feeling is amazing. I think that we worked really hard during the whole year. A lot of injuries for us, but I think that the team grew up a lot this year, and we deserve it. And now I'm really happy. I'm tired because we give everything on the court, but I'm really happy, and we're gonna go with all our fans to celebrate.
Well, I hope you got still some energy, right?
Yeah, for sure. For celebrate, there's always energy. Thank you.
Hey, this guy played 4 games, right? And he's a EuroLeague champion. 4 games.
There we heard from Sergio Llull. And much deserved for him as well. Helped them, but he was an inspiration with what he's doing. He was with them the whole year in their practice facility as they watched him work his way back in, and he made sure to be there when it counted and came up with some big plays in the playoffs and the Final Four. Here we see how this game developed. Early on, it was Fenerbahce that had little leads, 5-point leads, until the late part of the first quarter, but then there was a 14-2 run by Real Madrid with several players hitting 3-pointers. They went up by 8, but then Fenerbahce came back later in the second quarter and took the lead at halftime by 2. It was anybody's ball game at halftime.
Wow. But Real Madrid just played a more serious game in the second half, led by Coser coming out and dropping those 10 points in the third quarter. That was huge. They were looking for a leader. They were looking for someone to pick them up, and Coser did it.
Fabian Coser taking over in that third quarter, 12 points, as Joe said, and you have to give a lot of credit. Walter Tavares was out on the floor for ages, just holding up that defense in the middle. Finished with 8 points, 5 rebounds, but he had 2 assists too. But I think his intimidation factor was really something that threw Fenerbahce off.
Yeah, there was a lot of shots that you saw them penetrate and didn't take. And one of them that exemplifies his presence was one that was made by Melli, who went in for the dunk but had to stop and pull up quickly. And look at Felipe never jumps that high.
The oldest man in the EuroLeague jumping that high off the sideboard to celebrate the championship. Felipe Reyes, the captain of Real Madrid.
He didn't know how to land, Frank. He didn't know where he was coming from.
He hasn't been up that high in ages. Walter Tavares, the tallest player in the EuroLeague, trying it next on that beautiful shot of the joy that they and their teammates, well-deserved, very much well-deserved, will bring back with them to the Spanish capital as the 10th title in Real Madrid history. No team has been so successful as this one, and they have several other cups and other competitions to add to it. But when it comes to the top competition in the EuroLeague, Real Madrid came back after a long drought under Pablo Lasso, built their way up to the 215 title, and have just stayed with it until they have 2 in 4 years, which has been a long time coming. I think it was 81 and 83 the last time they had a couple.
And you got to give the medical staff too a lot of credit for Real Madrid to getting these players back into shape and getting ready to play. And Sergio Llull was a person, you know, a lot of athletes when they get hurt, they like to kind of like be recluded. They go into their own shell and they want to get into their own thing. They want to get it back into shape, but he did it in front of his teammates. His teammates were able to be there throughout the whole process and be part of the process with him. I think that was just important to have his presence always in practice and his teammates watching him get better.
You saw him on his social media accounts giving people updates. His teammates saw him every day, but he was always really promising the fans, I'm working at it, I'm coming back. And that rubs off on the team, especially when it's an MVP player like him. Tonight's top scorer was Nicola Melli, and as we said, Fabian Coser with 17, Luka Doncic with 15 for Real Madrid.
What a game by Melli too.
Got to give him a lot of credit. His first final, he came out and really poured it on and kept Fenerbahce in it for the longest. He really, without Melli, it would have been dominated by Real Madrid, because his 28 points is one of the best marks in the final that you can have.
There's the president of the team, Florentino Perez, back to celebrate.
Some of the legends, they keep it in the family in Real Madrid, and the family is getting bigger with now a new champion, Real Madrid, champs of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.